Yeah, good morning to all of you. And the session will start by 10:30. So we have opened the link early because more number of participants are expected to join. So kindly bear with us.
A very pleasant morning and a warm welcome to all the guests and officials for the second batch webinar on generic online training course in cybersecurity for government officials. This is a program by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MeitY, Government of India, and it is executed by CDAC Hyderabad. And it gives me immense pleasure to welcome today's guest, Srimati Savita Utreja, Madam, Scientist, Cyber Security Division, Shri Sanjay Kumar Vyasar, Special Officer and Scientist HRD Division, Srimati Tulika Pandey Madam, Scientist F Cyber Security Division, Shri Lakshmi Ishwari Madam, Director CDAC Hyderabad, Shri CHAS Murthy Sir, Associate Director CDAC Hyderabad, Shri Ranjan Kumar Sir, Joint Director Cyber Security Division, and Surendra Singh Sir, Scientist HRD Division. We welcome once again all the officials and participants for this second batch webinar. Now I request Srimati Lakshmi Ishwari Madam, Director CDAC Hyderabad, to introduce today's guest and continue the inaugural program.
Yeah, thank you, Nirmala.
Thank you.
A very good morning to all of you. A warm welcome to all the participants and officials from Ministry of Electronics and IT and my colleagues from CDAC. Good morning and warm welcome to all of you to this generic online training course in cybersecurity. This particular course is organized under Information Security Education and Awareness Program of MeitY. The main objective of this particular the course is to sensitize people in various cybersecurity aspects which are very much required in our personal and professional life in handling our mobile phones or IT infrastructure. So with this particular objective, this particular course is planned for the government officials from the different departments of Government of India. So without taking much time, I request Shri Sanjay Vyas Sir, OSD to Secretary MeitY and the Senior Scientist at MeitY taking care of HRD division to give an overview of the ICR program and the kind of genesis of this particular the course, sir. Sir, Vyas sir, can you kindly address the gathering in this direction?
Thank you, Lakshmi ma'am, and very warm welcome to all the participants, especially from Delhi. Though I am saying warm, it is pretty cold outside. So the experts sitting in Hyderabad are probably in a much cozier environment that they are having in Hyderabad as compared to in Delhi. So in any case, this is a full day session and we are just starting. And I am told that though we actually designed it for around 1,000 participants, there were around 750 registrants. And as I see, around 450 participants have already joined. Probably others will also join in the course of the day. This particular course or event, what you can say, is a trigger generated from Honorable Prime Minister of India. He has felt and also highlighted the need for our entire government setup to be aware about cyber security and its challenges. There are challenges which as a country we are facing, which we know that I mean in our day-to-day life also, and you may be hearing in the news and also reading the newspapers about certain targeted attacks happening on our setups and things like that. I would say that for this particular session, there are two elements you have to keep in mind, the participants. One is that something that will affect you as an individual. So, like you may have certain wealth, which the cyber security, threat actors would try to take away from you. Like you may have money deposited in certain accounts. You may be using the online transactions or the UPI or some other channels to actually get access to that. You may be using a mobile for doing those transactions. You may be using a computer, desktop computer to for doing those transactions. So that is one set of things and you may be also getting certain unsolicited calls. I received one call just now saying that you have applied for some XYZ card. Can you just tell me what is your details? I want to send somebody to collect your document. Just now, 10 minutes back, I received a call. So he said that I want to send somebody to collect the documents. I said, okay, fine. So have you applied? I said, yes, I have applied. Then he said, sir, have you given your documents? I just told him that, no, I have given it to somebody who is known to me. Then he says, sir, can you tell me your PAN number? And I said, sorry, I don't know you. I don't want to give my PAN number to you. Had he been the right set of person who was handling, of course, he would have got all the data in front of him. In fact, there are channels through which he can get all those data, even though he may not be the authorized person. So with these kinds of interactions, they try to engage and then tell you something about you and then try to gather further information from you. And then on that basis, they want to attack your, either guess your password or do some more planned attack in a concerted manner. So we sitting in government are more vulnerable because they tend to know through websites and all who are more sensitive to, attack, and those who may have better access to knowledge and knowledge resources in the government. So these are things like you must have heard recently, Dr. Reddy's lab got attacked because they were into vaccine development and things like that. So there are, different dimensions to it. So now keeping all that in mind, so this is one part. As an individual, what you are supposed to do and how you are supposed to tackle this. The another part is sitting at a government setup. You may be holding certain crucial information which is there available in your systems or maybe with you in some form, either in email or some other form. So now how do you protect that? What are the things which you are supposed to know to identify that whether it is an unsolicited mail or it is a solicited mail, whether I am supposed to click this or not, whether the message which has been received in your WhatsApp account is from a reliable source, should I click or not click, whether the app which I have downloaded is actually a kind of app which will collect certain other information, which will make my entire system vulnerable. So ये छोटी छोटी सी बातें हैं जो एज ए गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल जब हम सरकार में काम करते हैं, ये छोटी छोटी सी बातों का जानकारी होना बहुत 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 एसेंशियल है हम सबके लिए। और ये जो लॉट है, ये जो बड़ा लॉट है, क्योंकि सीनियर लेवल पे कम लोग होते हैं और मिडिल एंड लोअर लेवल पे लोग ज़्यादा होते हैं, तो ये वनरेबल लॉट है जो हमारे पास अवेलेबल है, जिसको कि हमें एटलीस्ट सम बेसिक हाइजीन और बेसिक एलिमेंट्स ऑफ साइबर सिक्योरिटी जानने की हम सबको बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है। चाहे कितनी भी सीनियर पोजीशन पे हो, वे छोटी सी एक मिस्टेक पूरी की पूरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को वनरेबल करा देती है। जैसे कि आप एक चेन अगर आप देखें तो चेन को कोई खींचता है तो वो कहाँ से टूटती है, जहाँ पे वो सबसे वीक होता है उसका लिंक या वो जोड़ जहाँ पे वो जुड़ी होती है। तो वो जोड़, वो लिंक जो कि सबसे वीक है, वो हमें नहीं बनना है। हमें कोशिश ये करनी है कि चेन जहाँ से भी हो मजबूत रहे, तो वो छोटा सा भी वीक पॉइंट हमारे अंदर नहीं होना चाहिए जिससे कि वो चेन पूरी टूट सके। तो साइबर सिक्योरिटी एक्चुअली पूरी एक चेन पे डिपेंड करता है, पूरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक फुल चेन की तरह बिहेव करती है। तो उसमें कोई भी अगर वीक लिंक है जो कि मतलब जिसे पता ही नहीं है, वो अपना पासवर्ड अपने बच्चे के नाम पे और छोटी छोटी चीज़ों से जो कि बड़े आसानी से गेस की जा सकती हैं, डेट ऑफ बर्थ से लिंक कर ले, तो बड़ा मुश्किल है कि वो उस सिस्टम को हम किसी भी तरीके से प्रोटेक्ट कर पाए, क्योंकि उस सिस्टम में वो कोई भी एक जो एक्टर है जिसने कि ये काम करना है चोरी करने का, वो आसानी से घुस सकता है, वो आसानी से उसका फायदा उठा सकता है और पूरे का पूरे सिस्टम को हम पूरा का पूरा सिस्टम एक छोटी सी कारण से थ्रेट पे ला सकते हैं। एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल होता है, कहीं भी पासवर्ड सेट करना होता है तो एक आता है डिफॉल्ट पासवर्ड, तो सारी जनता बड़ा आसानी से वो सोचती है कि वो पासवर्ड सबसे आसान है याद रखना, वो लिख लो या फिर कहीं लिख के रख लो। आपके जो क्रेडिट कार्ड यूज करते हैं उसके पीछे एक CVV नंबर होता है, कोई उसे मिटाता नहीं है। मैंने देखा नहीं किसी को कि भाई उसे याद कर लो, 3 डिजिट का याद कर लो, क्यों, बट वो लगते हैं लोग। अच्छा, उसके बाद कोई पूछे आपसे, हाँ जी ऐसा ऐसा मैंने आपके यहाँ ये भेजा है, आप ये आया है मैसेज, ये जरा OTP पढ़ के बता दो, लोग कर देते हैं। बड़े अच्छे अच्छे मतलब सीनियर लेवल पे भी लोग देखे हैं मैंने कि वो वल्नरेबल होते हैं। बड़े मतलब लोग, हमारा हिंदुस्तान एक्चुअली हम लोग ऐसे लोगों से भरा हुआ है कि हम ट्रस्ट करते हैं, हमारी सोसाइटी ऐसी है, एक दूसरे पे ट्रस्ट करते हैं। तो जब हम ट्रस्ट करते हैं तो फिर वो ट्रस्ट करने में ये बेसिक प्रिंसिपल तो वायलेट हो सकते हैं। तो ये सब मैं इसलिए बता रहा हूँ कि ये जनता जो अब हमारी आज पार्टिसिपेट कर रही है, ये सब इन एस्पेक्ट्स को अप्रिशिएट करें। अब ये जो कोर्स है ये हमने एक्चुअली 3 एलिमेंट्स में ब्रेक किया है। एक एलिमेंट वो है जो हम प्रिपरेटरी कंटेंट के तौर पे आपको अवेलेबल करा रहे हैं, जो कि आप अभी देख लिए होंगे या आगे देख सकते हैं। उसके बाद सेकंड सेट ऑफ जो ये सेशन है जो हम आपके साथ कंडक्ट कर रहे हैं, इसके 2 पार्ट हैं, एक लंच से पहले 2 घंटे लगभग और एक लंच के बाद 2 घंटे। उसके बाद तीसरा एलिमेंट हम आपके लिए और छोड़ रहे हैं कि वो उसमें आप ये सब जानकारी को लेके आगे अपने आप को खुद सीखने लायक बना सकें। तो वो छोटी छोटी सी चीजें इकट्ठी करके एक कंटेंट बनाया गया है जिसको कि आप देख सकते हैं, अपने हिसाब से लर्न कर सकते हैं, और उसके बाद उसमें अगर आप उसके क्विज़ेस वगैरह को करेंगे तो कुछ आपको सर्टिफिकेट भी उसके हिसाब से जनरेट होके मिलेगा। तो ये 3 एलिमेंट्स में हमने बांटा है इस कोर्स को, और ये मेरे हिसाब से बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है हम सब के लिए। तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप लोग थोड़ा अटेंशन दे के अच्छे से सुने, और हो सकता है एट टाइम्स मोनोटोनस हो जाए बिकॉज अब ये टेक्नोलॉजी अनफॉर्चुनेटली यूज करनी पड़ रही है, वजह इसके कि लाइव सेशन करें हम बिकॉज ऑफ कोविड पैंडेमिक। अब वो ये तो गिवन है, अब इस सिचुएशन में और कुछ हम कर नहीं सकते थे, लेकिन फिर भी इसका पूरी तरीके से फायदा उठाएं। इसका ये भी फायदा होगा कि ये भी रिकॉर्ड किया जा सकता है, तो आप बाद में भी एक्सेस कर सकते हैं। तो टेक्नोलॉजी का ये फायदा भी है कि हम रिकॉर्ड करके बाद में चाहें तो खुद भी देख सकते हैं, या आपने किसी का। और ये एक चीज और मैं बताना चाहूंगा कि ये आप अपने आप के लिए सीमित न रखें जानकारी को, अपने दोस्तों में फैलाएं, अपने घर वालों को फैलाएं, क्योंकि घर वाले रिश्तेदार जो कि बेचारे ज्यादा वल्नरेबल हो सकते हैं, उन सब के लिए भी इसे यूज करें। So with these opening remarks, give the mic back to, the virtual mic back to Lakshmi ma'am to invite the other esteemed guests. Thank you. Madam, unmute करना पड़ेगा. Madam, you have to unmute.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for nicely bringing out the focus of this particular one-day generic online course on cyber security. Now I request Mrs. Savita Utreja, Madam, Senior Director and HOD Cyber Security Division, to kindly address the gathering. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome all the members to this generic online training course on cybersecurity. Mr. Vyas has very nicely brought out all the elements of this training. As you know, it was a PM's mandate that every ministry has some technical aptitude. So we should focus on making some cybersecurity nucleus and also make all the employees aware about the cybersecurity impact. So this training is focused on bringing that awareness in all the employees that what could be the impact of not understanding the cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is today very important in all the daily life activities. So this awareness training is focused to all the participants to aware them in individual capacity as well as the organizational capacity. So it will be talking about the importance of cybersecurity, the password security, phishing attacks, the mobile security, mobile app security, social engineering attacks, and all that attacks. Vyas has also told us an example of social engineering attack. So like COVID has taught us how should we follow the COVID hygiene, that we should wear masks, we should maintain this distance, we should keep on washing hands. So this awareness training is basically focused on that we should learn cyber hygiene. And if we learn cyber hygiene, we will be able to prevent cyber attack. We cannot stop the cyber attack, but definitely we can prevent cyber attack. So awareness is only key, only medicine that will help us to avoid the cyber attack, prevent the cyber attack. So I wish all the best to all the participants so that they are able to understand what is being taught in this, and all the best to all of you. Thank you so much. Any doubts, anytime you can get back to me or to CDAC team or to MeitY team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam. I thank all the officials from MeitY for taking their valuable time and addressing the gathering, and also for all their support in planning this particular program. Now I request Mr. CHS Murthy, Associate Director from CDAC Hyderabad, to initiate the first session of this particular generic online course on cybersecurity.
Thank you, Madam. So I'm sharing. I request Mr. Jagdish to share. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So this is a 4-day generic, so 4-hour generic online training course on cybersecurity. Before going to, I would like to thank Mr. Vyas, MeitY, and Mrs. Savita Utres of Cybersecurity Division for giving a kind of an introduction about this particular event. And also for anything we are learning towards cybersecurity awareness, we must understand devices, what exactly we use it. We always start about anything learning from right from the device itself. So we generally use devices like desktop, mobiles to access this internet. So when we are talking about this internet, because of that entire cyber things, or they're part of internet. So what I mean is that basically when anything we are saying cyber, that electronic device which we are using for any communication or sharing the data or for any accessing internet. So all these things will come. But at the same time, the information which we use for this purpose also is very important. So information security, cyber security, and there is one word, one term, cyber safety. The cyber security looks like a same. When you are talking about, we may be exchanging these words for one purpose only. But actually, if you look into about that, cyber security is always talks about protecting the cyber devices. But when cyber safety, it comes always for protecting an individual from various threats or various attacks through these cyber devices. So that is what the simple difference is between these two. So many things we will learn while going through this 4-hour course. 4-hour course. But before that, we need to understand about any internet fundamentals. So computer fundamentals, we expect that you all know that at least for how to use these computers, mobiles and all. But it is very important that while we are buying in a mobile, we need to understand what kind of features are available within the mobile. Because sometimes what happens, we will buy it for only for particular purpose, like accessing internet through WLAN, wireless LAN, but it might be having GPS, it might be having GPRS. So many features may be available in that, like Bluetooth and all. So we need to understand these technologies to protect ourselves, because today's class is mainly for the cyber safety and cyber hygiene. So that we need to understand all these features, what are the features available in the device, even the computer is must. So we will come back to those sessions, but as introduction session, which we will talk about internet fundamentals also, so that you will understand how internet works, so that you can uh, try to secure yourself or try to make yourself as a safety or hygiene. Hygiene in the sense we will all talk about that, how to make ourselves healthy. Our cyber devices are healthy. Cyber communications are healthy. Let we see that first, anything which we are talking about, that we need to understand addressing. So what is this addressing? Suppose, let's say if we wanted to send a inland letter to anybody, so what exactly required? So the name, even though if you are sending, there could be a number of Rajiv Ratans. So that which Rajiv Ratan you are sending a letter. So it would be very difficult if you are writing only name. And of course, for Amrita Circle Road, in that Amrita Circle Road may also we can expect number of people. But when you are looking about PIN number 110003, so this is what unique number to at least deliver to the respective post office. The postman definitely knows, even though there are two or Rajiv Ratans are there, he can easily give it. Then when you look into this number, postal number 456001, where 4 is saying about the zone. Zone in the sense is not particularly states. Sometimes what happens, no, initially some part of Karnataka, some part of Maharashtra also comes as in a zone. Like if you look into that NCR maybe so many parts are so many states might be having the same number 11 or 100 like a zone, but subzone gives like 1 1. When you say that the one is a particular region of that zone where that it is immediately tells about. Like this, sorting district and actual post office number also will come, so that at least if you keep some name and with the 2 lines and post a postal pin number, definitely it will reach to the postal office. Of course, if postman goes and find out the respective member, if he is not available, he also can send back to that. If you know that where the post IP number, that particular PIN number is, source PIN number is available, he can return the letter also. The destination member is not available. So that is where we are implementing an addressing system for internet. Also, there is a similar addressing systems are required for delivering the packets one place to another place. Let's you see this typical architecture. Whether you are part of home or whether you are part of an office, this would be the same architecture would be available while you are connected to internet. Let's take example. We consider that you are there in the home. आप घर में इंटरनेट यूज कर रहा है. So वही सिचुएशन हम लेते तो आपका घर में क्या होता है? एक if you have a internet on mobile, you can access directly. But if you have a broadband connection in the home, what you do that? So all your devices at home, family member devices at home would be connected to that Wi-Fi device. वाईफाई डिवाइसेस है, आपने ब्रॉडबैंड राउटर ले लिया इंटरनेट कनेक्ट करने के लिए, और वाईफाई डिवाइस इज कनेक्टेड टू द ब्रॉडबैंड राउटर, and from there it will go to the internet. The same situation, let's say you family member are staying together here and connected to Wi-Fi of this machine. Let's say instead of switch, you may be connected in a Wi-Fi access point, which is also act as a switch and connected to your broadband router and is accessing the internet like google.com and all. So that is where when you are there internet. But when you are coming to the office, you may be in a one department or one organization of your industry. Your organization have or your department have a separate network, or otherwise within your department there are two subnetworks. One subnetwork is part of financial people and the other subnet is maybe a production people, where they divided into two parts with this particular firewall. Firewall is a device to control the communication between two different networks. So that is what you may please understand, that this is a simple definition of firewall. So there are firewall is a device which filters the data or communication between two networks. Okay, then these networks are connected to your gateway firewall. That means gateway means is what? Entrance of entire your organization. Anybody wanted to go to internet or anybody wanted to come to access your system also, through that gateway only he uses. Am I right? So that gateway is look like a what you can say watchman who are going and who are coming through the big entrance. He is maybe noting down, and if anything that he feels that is an intrusion, he immediately alert the staff. So that is where this gateway firewall also trying to identify the packets which are coming inside and which are going outside and looking about that. And so that is the same router, because that should go router and access the Google server or something. So let's say any member who is accessing an internet, and if he wanted to go out, he should come through this switch, where switch understand that you are going to the internet and going towards, and because internet is always through firewall, and the packet would be sending to the respective Google server.com. That Google server and replies back, and in the same it will deliver once it reaches the gateway to this one based on the port numbers and the addresses. So addressing for such kind of communicating from one computer to another computer is needed an addressing system. So there are two types of addressing systems are available in internet while you are accessing not only internet, even though there is no internet also, if your organization without internet, they are connected as part of networks or 2 or 3 networks are connected internally as an internal network. There itself also we required addressing system. Those two addressing systems are, one is IP addressing system, another one is MAC addressing system. MAC address is nothing but media access control address. So generally we called it as a MAC address, where every device, whether it is a computer, whether it is a mobile, or whether it is a any kind of device which is connecting the network or internet, is having a unique address. And these devices would be recognized across globe through this MAC address itself. Because for connecting the internet, you required NIC card, network interface card to your system. Am I right? So then if you have an NIC card, then only you can connect to the any network and anything you want to access. Of course, your system is directly connected to the broadband router. Router must have maybe broadband router is connected to your serial port, but definitely your broadband router is having the NIC card. Even though that is not there, so the respective ISP devices might be having, so that anybody can recognize your system through this MAC address, and this is 48-bit address. 48-bit address. Out of 48-bit address, 24-bit is the company's name who developed that MAC, the NIC card, like in Cisco's name, or if some Chinese name would be there. The remaining 24-bit the address is the unique of that word, and this is the unique in the world, so that you can recognize any computer, any device, any mobile. Even if your mobile is also having the same when it is having the Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi is again having the MAC address. So it's not only NIC card, even the Wi-Fi port also adopts this MAC address. That is why we can recognize any computer in this network. I hope understand why MAC address is. But only one thing, the limitation of this MAC address is they always talk to or works better between the two devices only. The peer-to-peer devices which are connected. Let's again see in this picture, this router and this switch are peer-to-peer devices. This switch and gateway peer-to-peer wireless address, and this switch and firewall are peer-to-peer devices. And this router is peer-to-peer device. This router belongs to you. This router belongs to other organization. They also talk to each other. So that is where they understand each other. Like in an apartment, if you all together staying, we introduce each other. The same way they also introduces each other to know their addressing systems. If in case if any communication is coming to me as from somewhere, and that is need to be delivered to the your opposite peer-to-peer device, so it can immediately deliver. That is what objective of the system. Now again come back, what is that your PIN number? You use it. So that PIN number is basically to transfer your letter to one post office to another post office. Your IP address is required also for one network to another network. If you want to transfer packets, one network to another network, also this IP addressing system is required. And you may be knowing all that IP address look like 192.168.1.1. That means it's like in a separated by dot 3 dots. of these numbers. That means 4 things can be separated by with 3 dots. So that 4 things is nothing but we generally called as 4 octets. Why it is called octet? So that one octet contains 8 bits. So 8 bits together we called an octet. That means so 192, 168, 72.1. The 192 is calculated based on 1 zeros of 8 bits. Because of the reason whether it is in a MAC address is 48 bit, IP address is in a 32 bit address based on bits only. Why? Because the computers can talk or can understand only bits, either 1 or 0, because it is in a binary system. It can understand only the binary numbers. The binary numbers are only 0 and 1. Where we can understand we decimal numbers, that means 10, 0 to 9. Okay, so that is where this understanding MAC address, we will little bit know further what is exactly MAC address and IP address. So let's say MAC address is basically used to ensure the physical address of computer as we discussed it. It uniquely identifies the device on a network. In a network, you can easily recognize with MAC address, and MAC address looks like this 030700 A1 2B4CC, because writing 48 bit is very difficult, so that it is showing in the hexadecimal format, so that it is 1 separated by with this no basically this 2 letters are is like 8 bits, 1 2 3. So first 3 into 8 bits are showing about the company. If it is the Dell, if it is the Lenovo, if it is the Mac address. So A1 2BCC is the that company which producing as many as 2 power 24 bits address. Of course, if they developed as many 2 power 24, they take another unique number with related to that organization and produce it and identifies their computers what they developed. Even we also, as a human beings managing these devices, also can understand very easily about these devices. That is where this MAC address is. Every device connected to your home network has a unique MAC address. If your computer having multiple network addresses in case, so each adapter has its own MAC address. That's what remember. If any your mobile is showing 2 MAC addresses, that means 2 different kinds of network adapters are there to connect internet or any other network. So Ethernet adapter or wireless adapter, all are coming as part of this only. Now coming to how does internet work, that is we will try to learn. So lot of people thinks it's in a cloud. Am I right? Most of the people will think this as in a cloud. Yes, cloud. Because why? Suppose let's say you are accessing your email ID when you are in part of Delhi. Am I right? When it is coming to Chennai or Hyderabad or anywhere in the world, when you go there, you can access your emails. That means from where it is coming, whether they are really connected. Because if you are going into other continent, there are no direct land is there between you two countries. Am I right? So how do you expect that they are all connected through wires? And this much wire, how can you draw? So this is possible. They are all keeping it to the cloud. So, but actually, they are all connected. Every machine is connected. Every mobile is connected either in the form of wireless. Wireless is always a limited thing. Wired also, some technologies is very limited. Like if you take example, Ethernet is maximum 100 meters. But we use number of devices like an intermediate device like repeaters, hubs, switches to extend further. So that is where which we connected internet. And if you look into that, there is a bandwidth line would be there. Every machine would be connected to these lines, these networks. Let's say you are using a BSNL connectivity and access a www.infosecawareness.in page, where what exactly it does, as we discussed in the previous slide, it will go to the respective switch, and the respective switch is forwards to gateway to internet. But also we learned, so www.infosecawareness.in, if you are sending, computers doesn't understand our language. Either it could be in English, Hindi, or Telugu, they can't understand. They can only understand through bits, 1000 ones. Okay. So then where to get an IP address? The second point is that IP address is required when you want to access any other network mission, because www.infosecawareness.in is not in your part of LAN, and maybe it is somewhere hosted in Delhi or Noida or Hyderabad, so that it should travel and get in a page from there. So definitely it is required IP addressing system. So what exactly happens? It goes to switch, the gateway, and then it will go to a DNS server. What is the DNS server? DNS server is basically domain naming system, where the domain naming system is resolves your request of infosecawareness.in into IP address and again forwards to you back. Once you know this IP address, you can go to directly to the again gateway. Gateway will forward to the respective web server. Sometimes what happens, if you are regularly connecting, your internal cache of your system can remember these addresses. Suppose in case this DNS server or internal cache is not available, it would be going a local DNS server, which in general your maybe your BSNL guy may be hosting this DNS server, and further it can get it. But let's say take example of you are using one server named Brazil. The Brazil data may be there, may not be there. Any Indian servers, because regularly Indian users are using here itself, so that you will get that DNS name, cache and all. Somebody started in a new server, Brazil. How they know that? So when they started this server, they will update to their local DNS. Local DNS will be synchronized with ISP DNS. ISP DNS will be synchronized with the gateway DNS of that country. Or then further, across the world, there are 13 root servers are there. All root servers will be exchanging this information wherever the new IP address is updated. So that's immediately they will try to exchange across all DNS servers, so that anyone your local DNS server or your nearest root DNS server will update this address. All these things are happens again within fraction of some 4 to 6 hours. Updating all across the globe. So that is where that you have to take it and understand. So as we discussed it before, so we are only saying that there are continents are divided with seas or oceans. How these lines are connected directly, even though either you can use satellite connectivity or so if you can see that is a submarine cable map, and you all know that recently our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has initiated the connectivity between India to Andaman Nicobar Islands, and it is also they are planning to connect our Maldives by 2024 through submarine cable between these things. Otherwise, this is one of the map. You can go to the submarinecablemap.com. You can see and you can click each link, who is managing and who is the owner of that particular thing and who is taking care of, so that we are all everywhere, entire globe is connected with all wires. Nothing is not there cloud. So the packets will travel across all through any one of the network line. So what is exactly IP address? We have learned about basically the MAC address, but when it is coming to the IP address, so this www.cdac.in is there and host3 are there. See, the packets can travel anything. See, all these packets are based on these layers. What is this layer exactly? So there is an application layer. Application layer could be, let's say, for example, taken an email. That email itself is your application. When you send the application, transport layer will add this packet where to send the respective this one. Then trans network layer will add about finding about the best path. Transport layer is looking about that connection, end-to-end connection, where network layer will look about. A network transport layer end-to-end connection means, suppose this packet is traveling to host 3, it looks about until it delivers to this layer, it checks its path. Let's say your packets may be like a maximum, your network, if you are using Ethernet, 1500 bytes only. Let's say if you are sending more than 1500 bytes, let's say an example of you are sending like a 10 MB file, so it would be divided into as many as packets with 1400 byte or 1500 byte, and the packet numbering will be given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But there is no guarantee that the packets will go in the serial. The packet can go like this, the packet can go like this, or packet can connect like this, and like also it can go it. But at the end, the transport layer will take that each packet receives with that serial number. Once it is received, all packets, then only it will deliver to the application layer. Network layer will look about that, finding the best path between the as many as networks are available. So I can reach from Hyderabad to Delhi via Nagpur, which is shortest distance. But at the same time, I can also go via Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Delhi, via Calcutta, or some other place like Noida and Delhi. So there are so many paths are there, but I look at that time best path to deliver these packets. And also these packets may travel into different paths, but when it is reaching, that end-to-end connection would be taken care by transport layer. But basically, but best path selection would be taken care by network where IP address all will be there. Link layer is, say maybe I'm using wireless, that who is I'm sending this data to other side. The other side may be using different packets, different network. So this link layer will understand about that how to. So because link layer is further divided into two layers, media access layer and media access control layer and logical link control layer, where media access control layer will take care of the media, different medias, and logically link control, logically traversing these packets from one media to another media and deliver that. And physical layer is takes care of the all the 1 zeros through physical data traveling would be taken care of. So each layer is having its own protocol. Suppose let's say you are using HTTP, FTP, SMTP, mail, telnet, all these are all application layer protocols. And these application layer protocol depend on either TCP, UDP protocol. Because anything you want to real time and a reliable connectivity, any either HTTP or any service, any application, if you want to reliable connectivity that deliver each and every packet must, whether delivered or not delivered, if you wanted to look into that uses TCP layer. Wherever UDP layer is like in a streaming. Now you may be seeing YouTube streaming. So when you click and that movie will come, so that means that movie is at that same time is delivering to so many people. It's not only for your purpose. So there is no conformity. Why the conformity is required? Whether if you don't look it, you refresh it and it will come again, that packet. And you have to confirm it. But not in the case TCP. They talk to each other and they confirm each other the packet if delivered or not delivered. But when it is coming to the UDP, UDP is basically about, so they simply delivering. There is no conformity from there that itself. The confirmation things won't be there from that side. Okay. So that is where wherever that conformity like a streaming and all the things will work on UDP. If you are accessing any YouTube video from your mobile, that is UDP protocol. Of course, network IP addressing is required for delivering the packets. Link layer is talking about your network, actually what kind of network you are using. I hope you understand all layers together required to deliver your packet and to deliver your request. Whether you are using WhatsApp, whether you are using HTTP website, mail, sorry, all these process is required. The traveling, the packets from application layer to physical layer from your side. When you receive the packets from anybody, the packets will come from physical link layer to application layer. So hope this you understand that how packets will travel this one. Otherwise, this IP address is like a 32 bits and 4 divided into 4 octets like 166.75.229.22. And if you see that this 166 is represented in the 1 and zeros only, because computers can understand 1 zeros, 10100110, nothing but 166. 01001011 is nothing but 75. So that is where this entire number, because we cannot remember or we cannot tell anybody to this like 1010.0110 dot like my address. So for our conversation, easy exchanging, these things would be converted into decimal and we are able to exchange it. So otherwise, dotted decimal distinction notation always like this, representing 145 10.34.3. So 3 is like what? How do you calculate this 3? If you are a mathematical guy, easily you can say that. So 2 power 0 into 1. So how much? 1. 2 power 1 is equal to 2. 2 plus 1, 3. The remaining all are zeros. So it is 3. Let's take example of this also. The 0, 2 power 0 into 0, 0. 2 power 1 into 2. So again, this is what? 2 power 5. So 2 power 5 is equal to 32. 32 plus 2, 34. So 34 would be defined in the decimal notation 001, 0, 0010. And these are the divided into 5 classes. If you can remember, you remember it. Otherwise, knowing is always better to secure or to want to be cyber hygiene. See, if any bit is starting with 0, that first octet, as you said, this is the first octet. This is the first octet. If first octet with a 0 starts with 0, is always A class address. Second, this one is 10, that means class B, and that starts from 128 network. And 110, it starts with 192. So anything 192 starting is the class C. And class D, class E. Most people will use these IP addresses. Depend on the organization, there are, depend on that particular organization. That organization is basically takes this class A address. If like Microsoft is there globally, it is available. So that network 23 dot network they were taken. So entire the 23, of course, they can be divided into subdomain, sub networks, and sub part of the IP addresses will go to the Microsoft. If you are using a LAN lesser than 255 machines, you can use 192, 168 like that. So that's what these many networks available. Plus EMA 2 power 7, that means 128 networks are there. Each network is having this 16 lakh, what is it? 1 crore 67 lakhs 77,216 ports are available for each network. But when it is case of class B 2 power 14, it's approximately 16,384 networks are there. Each network is having around 65,000 machines. Suppose if your organization is having 65,000 machines, so this is network they may be using. And C class network, there are 256 machines in each network. So smaller organizations always use C-class network, that is from 192 network to 223. So basically, there are other things are there. 00 is the default route used only during the step. These are I'm skipping for you because this much is enough for learning for your first subnetting. Now coming to the internet fundamentals, as we discussed, you may be connecting your Wi-Fi router through your mobile or your router and sharing with your family members at home or the organization. In general, home we use Wi-Fi. And when you are part of home, you may be connecting a device like a hub switch, and your colleagues are also joining this hub and switch, and other colleagues also joining and accessing the resources by yourself. So when you are wanted to connect internet, you may be connecting to the router. That router would be basically the one of the infrastructure device, and maybe you may be using a firewall to control your network, or with respect to the private network, with respect to the public network. That public network could be any internet. And to connect all these networks, you require repeaters, hubs, bridges, switches. This is called layer 2 devices. Why I'm saying that? The previous session, previous slide, you have seen that application layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, like that. See the physical layer. The physical layer could be here is the repeater hubs, layer 1. Always we count numbering from lower layer to upper layer. So layer 1 is physical devices. Physical layer devices are repeaters and hubs. They don't know any kind of addressing system. If you are sending any message with the 2 hub, 8-port hub, so that message, whomever you are sending, because that hub doesn't understand about where to send, it will forward to each and every port who are connected to that particular hub. If you are sending I love you message or I hate you message, it will go to each and every computer. And if anybody can see that message, how they can see that? They cannot see the hexadecimal things, and this packet will come in the decimal, binary and hexadecimal, so that you have to convert it and you can see the message. That is where it is security is required. While you are connecting, while you are sending message, anybody in the part of your network also can see if they are using repeaters. If coming to the bridges is basically is the layer 2 devices where MAC addressing system is there. Where we discussed MAC addressing system, we can identify a mission so that they deliver to right mission to that MAC address. Routers are having IP address so that they are also can deliver to the point. And gateways, proxies would be there because all machines cannot have an internet. They should connect it to one gateway address to go to further. So those where places gateway is required like these devices. So this is where the internet fundamentals which we can thought of. So here one case I am saying that the firewall, this firewall, in case of your Wi-Fi router is connected, how do you stop? How do you stop if in, because you are using a Wi-Fi router now, Wi-Fi access. So how do you stop others not to connect your Wi-Fi router? You may be using a Wi-Fi router with 1 GB internet connection and daily there are and with 100 Mbps speed, and you have a 100 GB of data. And if you are not setting password, what happens? Definitely somebody can connect your Wi-Fi router and access your internet. Not only that, he may be accessing about your files, your devices, your information also. How do you control it? So every Wi-Fi router by default comes within some firewall, or at least if you know your MAC address of your mobile, a MAC address of your computer, MAC address of your router, those you enable them. Other than that, nobody enable. Nowadays, we are using TV. Maybe we are extending to our Alexa, Google Alexa. All these MAC addresses you can notify so that only those people only can connect to your Wi-Fi. All other remaining members you can disable it so that you can control others not to connect those devices. Second point is that you can also enable some filtering mechanism. Password is always better. You need to set in a strong password, but it's not like that only it secures, because if I can collect your Wi-Fi router more than 20,000, 30,000 packets, so definitely I can guess your password, what you have selected it. But that's what we request always we to change, like, use a process in such a way that every month you changes your password, strong password. So that is where you need to secure your individual or your personal devices and enable yourself and become part of cyber hygiene. So we need to understand other concept here also. See, the people will think that see, because of the ISP is giving connectivity, but actually you know that IP address is how many bits? 32 bits. And you can have as maximum as 2 power 32 bits only. And a 2 power 32 numbers IP address, which are very much limited. If each and every device is required internet, so in India itself, these many devices are available, then how do you connect to the globally? All remaining countries, what they will use it. So that's what they introduced, public IP or internal private IP. That is one concept. Second is that whatever the private IP means here in this picture, LAN IP. So maybe you are observed in a home, you will get an IP address once you connected to your router. Am I right? So each and every device will get an IP address. All are enabled through DHCP, dynamic, we call it as a dynamic host configuration protocol. So you will get definitely that IP address. That IP address is the private IP address. But when it is connecting outside, you require public IP address. That means to connect internet, public IP address is required. That would be given by your ISP. It could be a BSNL or MTNL or anybody to access this internet. So this public IP may be changing every day when you are reconnecting and connecting. So it's a dynamically allocating. So there is no fixed IP address. But however, if you wanted to host some services from your side, you need a stable IP address. That means, because you know that any server can be accessed on based on public address, and every day public address changes, so that it would be very difficult to others to inform this public IP address changes, because it takes 4 to 6 hours. So every 4 to 6 hours, if you reconnect and your public IP changes, it would be difficult to host the services. So that's what, whenever you wanted to host something, you required public IP address. But your internal host required only IP address. To connect internet, you required public IP address. So that is where, if you look into this, 192.168.1.1, this is a one home, and that home is connected with the different devices. Like let's say, take example home 1. You have taken BSNL broadband connection. The broadband connection is at your home. You are using multiple things, and you are allocating the IP address range 192.168.1.1. This is private IP address, and that BSNL is allocated a static IP of 84, 115, 186, 155 on that day to you. And in your opposite, in your apartment, there is opposite home is also having same broadband connection. They also are having the same IP address. So, but BSNL connectivity only they are also using. So that, but the public IP address was given different. If you look into that, this one is 184.60, where this is 186.115. So they are This your BSNL is considering you are two different networks. Similarly, the third home in your apartment is having also their internal devices also same address, same private IP address they are using, but here in public IP address is different. So all these people can talk to each other through routing, through network. Network is dividing, and that will taken by this ISP, and this further will connect to this IPs only connected to internet. I hope how internet works, how IP addresses would be allocated when you are connecting, and when you required, when you wanted to connect internet, you required a public IP where your ISP gives dynamically this address, where organizations, when they are hosting application, they will get a fixed public IP address so that that IP address can be hosted or announced to the public to access their website. So hope this thing you understood. Maybe if you have any questions.
Sir, you want to stop here, sir, or we will continue for cyber security?
So if you have any questions, I would like to see the questions.
Yes, sir. As of now, only one question, sir. I think one of the organization they were using some pirated softwares as part of their organization. So now they are asking, like, is there any influence or is there any issues by while using these pirated softwares?
See, when it is pirated softwares, the pirated softwares basically will be delivered to you sometime back. Am I right? Let's say you are using Windows 7. That is pirated software. Even the Windows 10 also. Let's say you have downloaded on Windows 10 today, but because of pirated software, you cannot update any software on that, new things and new features. But that is not the problem. You don't require anything, new features and all. Whatever you have, that would be enough. But actually, tomorrow there are number of things may change into this, and your that whatever today you downloaded, your installed pirated software is having a lot of vulnerabilities where somebody can hack you. So you can't update it so that you cannot stop the hacker. So that is where the major reason, first reason, you need to update continuously, because and a human being can speak 6,000 words in a day, and you also getting an average. The people are believing, cybersecurity industry is believing that an average of 6,000 viruses, malwares are coming to the each and every PC. Of course, Windows 10 itself won't get all these 6,000 viruses, but if anything that virus is there with respect to that pirated software, definitely your pirated software would be the victim of that. That is one thing. Second thing, you are in a part of organization. If Microsoft knows or some other member knows that you are using their software, they can sue you, they can charge you 100 times of that. But with respect to the security accepts, it's better to take open source if you are not able to invest the budget rather than using pirated software. An equivalent of open source software is available. If you don't have budget, then you always prefer your application should be developed in Android. Android is free. Linux is free. Applications are free. Everything is free. Why we need to use a commercial application when we don't have a budget in particular? So that is what my thing. Second is that somebody is asking about what is layer 1 device. Layer 1 device is nothing but it's an intermediate device I'm talking about. It's like hub. 8-port hub is itself is basically a layer 1 device. That means it doesn't know anything. Whatever the signals are coming from one port and it forwards other port. It is like a repeater, repeating the signals. When we use repeater, see, your physical wire is maximum support. Like if you are taking an example of Ethernet, it can take only your data up to 100 meters. But practically when it comes, it only brings to up to 75 meters. But from 75 meters, if your building is away of 100 meters or other remote system is connected more than 200 meters, you need to establish repeaters to connect one and forward the packets other side. So these repeaters are layer 1 device. Layer 1 is what? Only the 1 zeros on packets, and it is only gives the boosting the signals, electrical and mechanical signals to forward further. Your hub is nothing but multi-port repeater. So these are the layer 1 devices. Is MAC address fixed for a device? Does it change for a device with the time or place? Yes, MAC address is based on your network card. If your network card changes, your MAC address changes. And you ask it in different way whether we can spoof the MAC address. Yes, we can do this MAC address spoof temporarily. When machine starts, it takes back again original MAC address itself. Anything else there?
Which addressing system is secure? Static or dynamic addressing system is secure, sir?
It's a depend on the request. See, that static and dynamic is basically, dynamic is what ISP anyway should recognize you at any time. As an end user, it may be no bigger way, this one. If it is having a fixed address and if you are not taking security things, if attacker knows that your IP is on this particular fixed address, he can always come directly without finding about that what is your address. But the organization is required to host continuous website, their website, they required fixed address. That's what they required firewalls, they required all security mechanisms.
Okay, sir. Sir, one more question, sir. Is it a good option to go for a Class B IP segment in a more than 300 systems organization?
Actually, not required. See, basically, if you divide your private network, Class C address, 300 organization, anyway, you might have two different LANs would be there, two different departments would be there. You can do the subnetting, or you can use two network, two C-class addresses. Because one thing you remember it, 300 systems, and if you take B class, how many are there? 64,000 machines you can connect. If you are not doing subnetting, what happens? The subnetting is basically, suppose let's say if you are sending a broadcast message, let's say example, broadcast is what? It should reach each and every IP of that network. And if you are not configured properly network, what happens? These packets, like a 300 machines, there are addresses are available, their machines would be getting that message and that means delivered. But the remaining 64,300 devices, it always sends the number of packets in the network. Your network would be congested. So that's what subnetting is one of the good thing to subnet your networks. So that you have to design as many as subnets and use, if subnets are not sufficient, use two different networks. 192.168.1.0 is one network. 192.168.2.0 is another network. So I'll continue. I'll take up this question for another 10 minutes.
Yeah, please, sir.
Let's see, if you take example this, if you are sending an email, what that exactly email? So if you look into that, so this is a simple network which are connected with hub and number of PCs are connected. In case if you are sending an email, what is that email server? You will take an application such as a web browser or Outlook Express or any other email client which you are taking. We generally what is happening? Any application which you are opening, whether it is a browser or something, it takes one port number. What is the port number? Port number is basically is a door. When you have a home, home main door, which you are welcoming to the guests. So anybody wanted to come and go, that door only. Maybe your web server maybe is coming through that particular web browser main door only. And Windows you are using for fresh air at home. Similarly, this web browser required some like a database connectivity, other connectivity. Further, you will open other ports. So if you are mapping with home, how you have a doors, so your system is also giving a chance to somebody come in or go through port numbers. So when you connect email is always generally by default host on port 25, and it will send it to from this particular email server, whether it could be a port SMTP, and that will travel to other side and go to email client. So email client, when they are raised, other email client is will receive. In between, there are email servers are there, because when you are part of an organization, when you are sending an email, that client will connect to the server of that email organization. That will be queuing all members who are sending that reaches to here, and then forwards to the respective email server and delivers, so that the user can receive. This is where network is happening. Email will travel, and in between number of routers, devices, whichever we have shown, no global network like that would be there. So this is where basically, if you take example, when you are coming back application presentation session layer. So in the previous slide, we showed these three layers together in the TCP/IP is same, web, email app, and whenever you are opening an email application, that is application. And if you are presenting your email in the format encrypted email, or you are sending an what is kind of a JPEG file, or any how you are representing the data in the email is takes care about the presentation layer. As I have seen before, shown before, when you click that, it would be connected to your mail server, which is existed in your organization itself. Like if you are part of nic.in, immediately nic.in server, it will be connected. And if you are sending to microsoft.com, server will be forwarded. Then to forward that particular to Microsoft.com, it will take care of the transport layer, where it looks about the end-to-end connectivity, where which we discussed it, and network layer will take care of the best path, and of course different medias, and physical means 10s it will travel. So all layers are very important. TCP/IP is the main protocol for that internet communication. In TCP/IP, generally these three layers together and last two layer together. Otherwise, this is as per the OSI standard layer. These 7 layers are very much important. So that's what OSI TCP would be divided like this. So for understanding purpose, we given this represents it. So these are the very much important to as part of the internet understand. And wherever the layer devices are there, repeater subs, layer 1, layer 2, both networks, it is talking about the bridges and switches. Routers will be layer 3. Some switches, now layer 3 switches are coming where routing functionalities are there. Layer 4 devices are proxies and gateways. Like your proxy is the application layer. So that is where we talked about this. And internet, let's say you are using HTTP. HTTP is real-time data. So because when you requested, the page will come. So that TCP protocol would be using. TCP protocol depend on either IP layer. IP layer would be depend on data link layer. The packet will go there. When you are sending, the packet travels from above to down. When you are receiving, lower to up. And every packet everywhere, their header would be added when it is going down, and when you are receiving, every header would be removed, and finally application will come. So the data is actually that email, whatever you send it, the data it is called, but the data is in the transport layer is called segment. The data is called in a network layer as a packet. Data in a physical layer or a frame layer is called as a frame. So if somebody says data, datagram, segment, packet, frame, all are one thing only, but only their position where exactly in which layer is taking care at that time, the name changes. When data is down 2 layers is called as a frame. When data is in packet, that means it's in a IP layer, and segment is in transport layer, data or message in the application layer. So when the frame is coming to your Ethernet driver, that means NIC card, either it could be ARP, address resolution protocol, or IP. Let's say your application is a UDP based application. It is IP UDP application. If it's TCP application, IP TCP UDP. If network management or ping, if you are doing IP ICMP. This is only for understanding demultiplication. Now you see that how client server is communicating. Suppose let's say when a user is connected, suppose you wanted to access a point, a server, you are within a web browser, you will connect to the server in such a way that, as we discussed it before, www.microsoft.com, it says computers doesn't understand So it will go to the DNS server and gets an IP address. Through IP address, it requests to the web server, and of course, ARP request. ARP is basically to know MAC address. If it is whether within the network, peer-to-peer device, why required IP address? So generally, before DNS, ARP request happens. So ARP reply will come, that ARP address, hardware address, it will know. Then TCP three-way handshake happen. Then only the page will request would be done. HTTP request and web page, you will receive it. See that for getting in a web page, these many communications are required for getting in a page. When you type www.cdac.in, and page is coming immediately, so that you don't know all these things are happening at all. So that is where, but all these things are, because why you don't know? It's all happening within fraction of seconds. They are talking, both servers and talking first, then only they were giving page. Remember, whether you are using WhatsApp, whether you are using email, whether you are using YouTube videos and YouTube things, that is also web, or anything, app, anything, this is the must. It should get the IP address. It should understand whether it is local or not. Then whatever you are requesting, 3GCP, three-way handshake, they hello, how are you? They exchange 3 times. Then only web page will come. Then only your message will be delivered in WhatsApp. Then only your email will can send it. So this way internet works. So as we discussed, there are repeaters, first layer devices, shared devices. That means any data. Let's take example here. So you are part of one machine. Machine would be talking to, you are sending in a message to others. So this repeater doesn't know anything to where to forward. So it forwards each and everybody who are connected to the these switches. So whatever the message you are forwarding, those messages can be seen by others if they are using some tools, because these are all messages are part of binary. And if you know that binary packet, converting it your says that your message can be decoded. When it is coming to the switches, if you look into that, if A wanted to send it to B, it switch does understand about MAC address, so that it automatically delivers to that red dot lines, pink dotted lines. If you see that the packet would be delivered. So the remaining two things cannot be required. That was switching is main. But one problem is there. There are every device that is having some limitation. If I send number of flood packets, because it only record these MAC addresses and then cache. And if I reset the cache, it look like in a switch only, hub only. So at that time I can send in a message malware to every machine. So for learning, it takes time. Within that time itself, an attacker try to do that. Routers is basically when you are using two different networks. The hubs, layer 1 device, layer 2 device would be used there itself, but hubs would be used basically. Hubs and switches would be used for local area networks, but routers would be used when you are connecting two different networks. And if you are office A and office B, if they wanted to connect, you require routers. And gateways, suppose like say you are hosting your web server, your mail server, and your DNS server, and that was given to the public. Public people who can come here to gateway and they can go to your website and go come. But they never go to your internal network, they won't disturb. Otherwise, if you are keeping these 3 servers here and if you are keeping it internal net, so that is all. If while people are coming to access your web server, they also can access your internal machines also. That's what this all 4th layer devices, gateway devices like firewalls can be made as a different DMZs and control the communication as when you required. So this is what we discussed. I hope you understand how the packets will travel and what kind of devices are there. And coming to the information security fundamentals, I would like to complete within another 3 to 4 minutes. Of course, See, we are looking about a kind of thing, any communication normal flow. Am I right? So normal flow is somebody is able to interrupting your communication. That means, let's say you have requested a web page from your organization, but that was not delivered, page not found came. That is called generally interruption. Am I right? Is it this particular seat is visible? I think it is.
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir. It is visible.
Okay, now my other system is not visible. That's what I got out. So that is where interruption. So when it is modification, if somebody is sending an email, say, let's say your colleague sent in a hi message, but you got an hello message. That means what? Somebody is modified the data in between and delivered to you instead of hi, hello. And you think that your colleague sent a hello only, but actually your person, whomever sent source, that he sent hi. So somebody is modified the data in between. Interception is like a telephone tapping. Like when you are using hub environment, if somebody is sending the data, all others people will get it. The same technology I can use it in the network level, because everybody wanted to access internet from your organization. All should come through proxy, but I am collecting the proxy data at for different purpose, so that whatever you are communicating for internet through proxy, entire data also comes to me, so that I can see your all data. If your passwords are not encrypted, if your data is encrypted, I can see that data clearly about whatever you are sending. Even they remember that when you send a Yahoo mail header, Upper, there is advertisements. That advertisements also can see that. Also, fabrication. Fabricated is basically like you already getting so many emails. Bank is asking, your bank is asking you to change password immediately by clicking this link. All phishing labs. And instead, even though you are not getting from bank, you are able to get that mail as a from like in a bank. So non-repudiation is one of the basically typically attack, which we will look into about that, but however, which I will discuss in that. But here, when coming to back, when it is interruption, is what means. Whenever you want to access something, you are not able to get that. So there is no availability. Okay, here I would like to ask somebody, anybody ready to share your Gmail ID? Anybody wanted to share?
Yeah, Mr. Abhishek Mishra wanted to share his email, sir. Yeah,
Okay.
Rajendra Prakash sir also wanted to share.
Okay, I got one email ID, AKTJST anilhpgdc@gmail.com. So what exactly I know this from here? Anil HP, see, at least I can recognize this email ID belongs to Anil. What is HPGDC? I can type in internet, I can find it out, so that I can identify there is a person is calling in Anil HPGDC group. Okay, so that is what first one thing. When we are, especially when we are using free emails, the names should be represented any person. You can say that. If how do they remember this one? That is where you can say that. See, if really they wanted to communicate with you, definitely they will take your email ID and communicate it when you required as an officially. But this would be useful for hacker. So if you wanted to make target Anil HPGDC, so this is what I will do that. A simple thing I will do that, I'll change this password. How do I change? I will give anything 5 passwords to this email ID. What exactly happens? Anil, you can enable Anil to speak if required. Anil HPG DC, mail, I know that, so that whatever thing I am opening a gmail.com and giving 5 different password, whichever I'm coming into my mind, what happens? So definitely that account would be locked, yes. So locked means he is using his own mobile device to reset the password. So he reset it. So how much time took? Minimum 3 minutes. 3 minutes that a service is not available here. Now I am writing a script. Now I am writing a script. Every 2 minutes you open in a Gmail and use this particular email ID and give any 5 passwords in your database. Every 2 minutes. So what happens? Even if we reset, every 2 minutes it is locking. So that's what he cannot access his email. He is the owner of that email ID, but still he cannot access that email ID. So this is what the non-availability of the is part itself. So that's what always hindywordpro@gmail.com. This is good Hindi word pro, because we cannot recognize the name. That is one good thing she or he has been done with this email ID. So that is where we need to look about that. So this is called one availability against to the availability. Even the owner of that service, somebody can do that. I request, please do not do that. We can track all the things. If the respect to cybercrime investigations can do all the track who is doing all the things which IP address is doing, either immediately or within later whatever the time it takes. So that don't do that. It is only for example I'm telling that. So this is where availability. Okay. So when somebody is able to modify your information, then what that means? So there is no integrity. Anybody can modify our data so that we cannot trust that data. So it's an integrity problem. Interception. Somebody is able to see your data, your passwords, so there is no confidentiality. So these 3 are very much important. Confidentiality, integrity, availability are very much important. And if somebody is able to send an email on behalf of authentication, behalf of bank or you, so there is no proper authentication. So it is one of the beautiful supporting this one. So when reputation, non-reputation is very much required, because even though when we implement confidentiality, integrity, availability, and all the things, but finally you are saying that you are rejecting that even after sending an email. So it would be very difficult. So that source is mentioned. I never send. I never said. Say we always listen to the political ministers. After saying that, they say next day itself. It is not say I said. It is not like that. I said. I never said like that. These are the things will come at. Similarly, if something is, we need to build in a system that, so you cannot say, you cannot deny that even though after sending an email or after receiving an email that you are not received, or after sending a mail you are not sent, you cannot do that. So that is where the system which we need to implement to secure within non-repetition techniques. So there are number of doors are available, whether wireless or internet, broadband, mobile, so many ways you will try to connect internet. So the final thing I would like to anyway explain, cyber safety is the safe and responsible use of information and communication technology as a person individually. So this is only the good etiquette, internet ethics we need to follow as a person. So keeping our information as a safe and secure, and being responsible with that information, being respectable of other people, because the variety of people would be there internet, because internet is in a global network. Cyber safety is mainly that what we are talking about with about the people, the people's responsibility. So the cyber is relating to the characteristics of the culture of computers, information technology, communication, virtual reality, etc. Internet is like a global computer network, generally online, controlled by connected to the computer. When we look about the safety as an individual user, when we are part of cyber, when you are part of internet, when you are part of online, the safety practices you take will come under cyber safety. So what is cyber security? Cyber security means protecting data information networks and our information by using technology. By using the technology to protect, like using firewall to control our network communication, using the intrusion detection system to find out what kind of intrusions are happening to protect, to stop those intrusions. Cyber safety means protecting users from harmful online content. Fundamentally, it focuses on people, and it may use technology to help in protecting physical and emotional well-being of people. So it's a cyber safety, and where cyber security is always, cyber safety is for people, cyber security is for technology. And information security is basically superset of all, including cyber security and cyber safety. Because if your name doesn't know, it would be very difficult to target it. I am ready to share my password. Can you hack me? It's very difficult to hack me. Okay, of course, you find me in the internet, you may find my email ID, user ID. But see, if you see like a Hindi word at some chat box which we have seen, Hindi word prod@gmail.com, I didn't guess, I can't guess this user ID. User ID related to some person. Even though she shares my password, finding the user ID of her or finding user ID of him is very difficult. But if I know your user ID, what password you will keep it? The password could be your name at 123, your kid at 123, your puppy at 123, or you may believe some god. Any god name would be there. And which we have seen, some people are keeping their mobile numbers as a password. So anybody can guess, anybody can crack easily. So that's what keeping information is as much as control would be very difficult, very needed. Cyber devices also plays a great role in terms of information storage, information flow. Here I wanted to quote one thing. Your arts of communication is end-to-end communication. What do you mean by end-to-end communication? Everywhere it is secure? No, not at all. While it is a traversing from one mobile to another mobile, only end-to-end secured. Because you know that now the data will travel across the devices like switches, routers, and everything, and forward to other end side. So when it is going, information is flowing from one system to one mobile to another mobile is only the secure end-to-end system. But the information is, when it is in your mobile, after delivering in the remote mobile, is not secured. And you may be updating your data to your cloud, where cloud doesn't use whatever the secure technology using by your WhatsApp. So that's what we always define into information storage and information flow. So that's what we need to control our information, not to revealing anything to avoid cyber attacks and threats. So that is one of the first principles which we have to use as part of cyber hygiene. With this, I wanted to close. If any questions are there, so that I have taken a little bit more time, I'm very sorry for this. If you have any questions, I can.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful, enlightening presentation with all pictures. And it is a self-explanatory in most of the times, and you have given a complete complete idea about like what was the internet and internet ethics, internet how internet works, and the computer fundamentals, network fundamentals, and you're also briefed about the information security. So thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful session. Of course, there are questions, but we will take it up later, sir, with the interest of the time. So before introducing the next next speaker, I have few announcements to all the offices. I'm going to share. I already shared one link to register all your attendance. So once again, I'm going to share that link with all of you. So please enter all your details. So we will maintain your attendance in the morning as well as in the afternoon, because we were getting requests from the ministry, like who are all attended this session, against the registration. Of course, like we got a good number of registration, but when it comes to the attendance today, like we have a wonderful attendance, So we have to submit these attendance, like who are all participated from that respective ministry. So that is only the reason, like we are going to share that link with all of you. So please enter all your details, like your name, mobile number, department, so that we will capture and we will share it with your ministry. Only for that purpose we were requesting your details. And the second thing, like we are going to discuss the certification process, feedback and all the things in the end of the last session. All right. So with these two details, and we also request all the officers kindly bear with us, beyond 12:30, at least another 15-20 minutes, because we need some good amount of time to complete the second session. Of course, like Murthy sir has explained nicely about the internet fundamentals, information security areas. Now the second session we are going to discuss about the browser security, email security, and the data and password protection. So these are the topics which we are going to cover in this second session, and it is going to be an hands-on. Like if someone wanted to implement those things, so kindly follow those steps which are going to be explained by our next speaker. So I request Kajal Kashyap to take over the session, and you have 45 to 50 minutes more. I also request all the participants now itself, the session may go beyond 12:40, 12:45. The maximum by 12:50 we are going to cover. So please cooperate with us. So most of the people are joining now. Some of the people are joining, keep on joining. So with that, like I request Kajal to take over the session. Kajal, are you there? Kajal Kashyap. Of course, like there are a few more things like which we are getting in the chat box. Yes, like what are the session today we were doing. So that is got recorded, and we are going to share with all of you on your registered email IDs, and the PPT and all such kind of things also materials. We are going to share the links so that you can access all the PPTs like which are used as part of these sessions. So those PPTs are also going to be available. That links are also we are going to share it with you, and you can access the PPTs, and you can go through all the videos, like what are the videos, like what are the session is happened by Murthy sir as of now. So that session video also we are going to share it with you, so that you can go through those session once again and again. So now also it is already available in YouTube live. Of course, like later part, like we will purify it and we will share it with all the people, right? So with that, like I request Kajal Kashyap to start the session. Kajal, are you there? Kajal? Kajal Kashyap, please.
Good afternoon, sir. Am I audible?
You are audible. You are audible. You can share your screen right now.
Yes, sir. So just give me the privileges to share my screen.
It was given. Achha, you have one more also. Yeah, please go ahead, ma.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, sir. All right. So good afternoon to all the respected participants who are present here. So I hope my screen is visible to all participants. So myself, Kajal Kashyap, and in this session, we are going to learn about cyber safety and privacy protections in terms of email, in terms of desktop security and your desktop browsers. Right. So let's start our today's session. So we'll firstly start with the term, that is what is cyber security. So we all know that cyber security refers to the body of technologies, processes and practices which are actually designed to protect our networks, our devices, programs, and any kind of data from attack. So basically, the main aim of cybersecurity is to protect any kind of data that is present in our system, as we can say, in our laptops, in our desktop, or in our mobiles also, right? So the main aim of cybersecurity is to protect our data from any kind of damage or any kind of unauthorized access, right? So if I talk about what are the goals of cybersecurity, so there are three goals of cybersecurity. So these are the confidentiality, integrity, and the availability, right? So in order to, acquire a good cybersecurity, we need to maintain these three goals, that is the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. If I talk about the confidentiality, in this only unauthorized users and processes should be able to access or modify any kind of data. If I talk about the integrity, so data should be maintained in a correct state and nobody should be able to, modify it, change it, or delete it in any way, right? Or we can also say either accidentally or maliciously can, harm it. Next, if I talk about here, that is the availability. So, authorized users should be able to access data whenever they need to do so. This is your availability. Okay, let's move ahead to the next term, which is cybercrime. So, cybercrime is a criminal activity that either targets users or computers or computer network or a network device, right? So, the main aim of cybercrime the main aim of to perform a cybercrime is to access all the data that is present in someone's computer, laptop, or mobile, right? And to harm that data, right? And a major attack vector of cybercrime is to exploit the broken software. So, what is the aim of the hacker? What hackers are doing nowadays? Basically, hackers are targeting all the softwares which are actually not that strong, not that vulnerable, right? Or not that any kind of strong encrypted, right? So here if I talk about the cybercrime, we have three terms, that is the vulnerability, the threat, and the risk, right? So if I talk about the vulnerabilities, so vulnerabilities are the gaps or the weaknesses that are present in any computer or any network, right? So what hackers are doing, hackers are trying to attack that computer, right? Or trying to attack that information that is actually vulnerable. Next, if I talk about the threat, so threat is what an organization is defending itself against. We have a lot of attacks right now that hackers are doing on any of the organization. So threat is basically that kind of attacks that hackers are doing on many of the organizations or many of the users or computers. If I talk about the risk refers to the we can say the calculated assessment of potential threats to an organization's security and vulnerabilities within its network and information system. Basically calculate that what is the risk that they are having in their organizations, right? So risk are the calculated assessment of that potential threats. Next, if I talk about in this image, you can see this is what happens in an internet minute in the year of 2020. So here you can see a lot of data is actually passing on to the internet. Here you can see in just 60 minutes, that is in just 1 minute, 19 million text messages are sent over mobile phones and 1.3 million logins are there on Facebook, and 4.7 million of videos are viewed in every 1 minute in YouTube. And here we can see 400,000 apps are downloaded in case of from your Apple Store and from your Google Store, right? And here you can see 4.1 million search queries are there on Google. And similar in a similar way, you can see that how much data we are actually sending on to the server or sending on to the online, right, in just under 60 seconds. So we can also say by looking over this image that how much our data is actually present on the server, right? Here in the next image we can say that what are the threats that is actually present in the common applications that we are using on a daily basis. So if I talk about the applications that we are using on a daily basis, these are the online taxi applications, say that Ola, Uber, right? We mostly using Ola and Uber. And next is we have the education application. We mostly using most of the online applications for education purpose. And for banking application we are also using online applications, right? We are mostly using shopping applications like Mintra, Amazon, Flipkart, and so many there are application present online. Job portals, for job portals we are also using so many online applications. For chatting and instant messaging application, for travel and hotel booking application, and for online gaming. So what are the threads in all of these in all of these applications? So once you download these application, they will be asking your details like your name, your email ID, your uh, personal information such as your mobile phone and other your card details also, right? So this is these are all the threats that is actually that can also happen when we expose our personal information with these kind of application, right? So next, in the next image, we can see how does Google track you. So here, the question arises that how does Google even know that what actually our likes and what actually our dislikes, right? So if I talk about that, how Google knows all these things. So here in this image, just a minute. Yeah. Here in this image, first entity you can see is the Chrome browser. So how Google is tracking you with the help of Chrome browser, whatever uh, uh, track us through the browser history and the website that we are visiting on daily basis. Next, if I talk about the YouTube, whatever the videos that we watch on daily basis, the Google is tracking us on this basis, right? And whatever the location that we are visiting, sometimes the map, whenever the our location is already enable in our mobile phone, then automatically it will store our location, right? And if I talk about the Hangout application, this mostly present in the Samsung mobiles, right? So whatever the contacts and conversation we store on this particular application, Google, tracks us through that. And through photos, through calendars, through Google search, we mostly search so many queries over Google, right, on daily basis. So these are the things that through which Google are tracking us, and through Gmail, through shopping applications, and through ads also, right? So these are the entities through which Google is tracking us. Next, we have the definition of footprints, right? So if I talk about footprints, what are footprints? So a digital footprints is a trail of data you create while using the internet. So we mostly using the internet 24 by 7, right? So whatever the data that we are creating while using the internet is actually stored in the form of a digital footprint on the internet, right? So basically, digital footprint includes the website you visit, the emails you send, and the information you submit to online services, right? So while doing these kind of activities, digital footprints basically store in this form of things, right? Like when we visit any of the website, it will store on the internet that these are the websites that we have visited. And when you send emails to anyone, that will also store on the online, right? So be careful about what you share on the internet, where you share on the internet, and with whom you share on the internet. Because once the information is passed on to the internet, right, it will never going to delete it. Right, you can delete it from your end, from your computer, from your, any social media application, but it will never going to delete from the online server. It will remain there for a lifetime, right? So you have to be careful what you share, where you share, and with whom you are going to share that particular information. So if I talk about the digital footprints, there are two kind of digital footprint. First one is your passive digital footprint, and the second one is your active digital footprint. So
Yeah,
one by
sorry
one.
to disturb you, Kajal. Can you
Yes,
please
ma'am.
make it a
Yes,
big
ma'am.
screen? Like,
Uh,
can you
sure.
please make it in the presentation mode?
Is this fine, sir?
Yeah, it's okay, ma. Fine. Go ahead. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So, digital footprints are of two types. First one is your passive digital footprint. Second one is your active digital footprint. So, one by one, we will discuss these. So, firstly, we will discuss passive digital footprint. So, a passive digital footprint is a data trail you intentionally leave online. So, you are not aware about this information, right? You unintentionally leave this information online. If I talk about one example, when you visit a website, the web server may log your, you can say, your IP address, which identify your internet service provider, right? And when your and also your approximate location, that in which city or in which country you are sitting, right? And your any other information, right? So while your IP address may change and does not include any personal information, it is still considered part of your digital footprint, right? So a more personal aspect of your passive digital footprint is your search history, right? Which is saved by some more search engines while you are logged in. Right. So basically, in short, if I say that what is the passive digital footprint? Passive digital footprint are the footprints which you unintentionally leave online, right? If I talk about the active digital footprint, so active digital footprint includes data that you intentionally submit online. This information, basically, you are aware that I am passing this information online, and you are aware of this thing, right? For example, sending an email contributes to your active digital footprints, and since you expect the data to be seen or saved by another person, right? So be smart about what are the sites you visit and what are the emails you open and what are the links you click, right? So how to preserve your digital footprint? First thing is always think long term before posting. So whatever you are posting, wherever you are posting, and with whom you are posting, you have to think twice before posting anything. If you are sharing something on for Facebook, for instance, so please do not share anything on Facebook, right? Just for the like purpose and for the comment purpose, right? Always think twice before sharing any post or anything on online on internet, right? Second, I can say that keep your personal information private, and whatever personal information you are providing online, for instance, if you are providing your email address on your social media application, just make it private. Do not make it public, right? And if you are providing your mobile number on Facebook or for any or on any social media applications, so just make sure that it is uh, private, not public, right? And only you can see this information and not the other person's, right? Next, use secure privacy settings on social networking pages. uh, we all have privacy settings on every social networking application, so kindly go through that, read the terms and condition before using that social media application, that what are the do's and don'ts of that social media application, and what kind of information is actually, you know passing on that social media application, right? So always try to go to the privacy settings page on that social networking application that you are using on daily basis. Next, we have protect your privacy and privacy of your friends. Just make sure that you are also, protecting the privacy of you also and your friends also, right? Have a limit time on social media application, right? Next is, what is data protection? So if I talk about the data protection, this is basically, uh, it is basically safeguarding, right? Excuse me, sir. Is my slides are not changing
No, it's not moving, mom. It's not moving.
now?
No.
Let me share again.
Yeah.
Uh, is it visible now, sir?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead.
All right. All right. So, all right. So let's start with the data protection. So what is data protection? Data protection is basically safeguarding and building rules that put in place to protect your personal information. So basically, data protection is to protect your personal information which is present online, right? So, if I talk about that, what includes your personal data or what includes your personal information? So this can be your name and your surname. That means your full name. This can be your home address. This can be your email address. As I had already, told you that do not please. Provide your email address. If you are providing your email address in social media application, then just make it, private, not public, right? And uh, personal information also includes your identification card number, right? Your location data, right? And your location should not be on 24/7 in your mobile phones, right? And your IP address, your cookie ID, and your personal health information. It can be related to your medical information also, right? And these can be all of the examples of your personal information. All right. So, what are the consequences of not protecting your data? If you are not protecting your data, then you could also face some financial loss. You can also face some reputational damage and loss of sensitive data, and also identity theft. Right. So, if I talk about the identity theft, what exactly is identity theft? So, identity theft occur when someone without your knowledge acquire a piece of your personal information and uses it to commit fraud, right? So whenever someone is accessing our private personal information like your email address, your mobile number, or any of your personal document like your Aadhaar card number, your PAN card number, or your any personal information, and we are not aware about that thing, that this person is actually using our identity thing or our personal information, right, in order to perform some kind of fraud, then this we call it identity theft, right? So what is the aim of that identity theft? So the main of that identity theft is for personal gain, generally with the intent to defraud others, right? So what actually include identity theft? So identity theft includes your password, your bank account information, your credit card numbers, and information stored your computer, mobile phone, such as your contents, your videos, your images, and your sensitive documents, right? So these are all the documents that we need to, safeguard it, right? What are the preventions in order to prevent from the identity theft? So safeguard your personal information, right? Protect your passwords. Do not write your passwords on plain paper and stick it on your table, on your offices, at your homes, right? And be credit card, debit card smart user, right? If you are using everybody is using credit card, debit card nowadays, but just make sure that you have read all the upcoming attacks, that what are the kind of attacks that are actually happening nowadays with the credit and the debit card, right? And destroy or shred receipts that are not required, and do not just put that receipts or you know any kind of paper that you are actually not required, right? And review your records regularly, right? Just check your banking statements on a regular basis, and be cautious with phishing links, and monitor your online accounts, and be careful with public wi-fi. If you are using public wi-fi, then please I request to all the respected members, do not make any kind of financial transaction with that public wi-fi, because we are not aware that on behind that wi-fi who the person is actually sitting, right? And what is the intention of that person, right? So do not kindly avoid any kind of we can say that financial transaction over public wi-fi. Okay. Next topic is your password security. All right. So let's see this thing also. What is password security? Okay. So if I talk about the password security, so here in the image you can see, do not write passwords anywhere and give password anyone over phone. You do not need to give your passwords over mobile phones, and you do not need to send your password via email, right? And your password should not be cannot be seen by others. It should be yours only, right? So if I talk about what are the various techniques used by hackers or crackers to retrieve your password, so these are some of the tricks, or we can say the techniques that mostly hackers are using in order to acquire your password, right? So first one is your shoulder surfing. The second one is your writing your passwords on paper or storing it on hard disk. The third one is your brute force attack, and the fourth one is your dictionary attack. So one by one, we will discuss about all of these four techniques. So firstly, we will start with the shoulder surfing attack. So if I talk about this kind of attack, so shoulder surfing is using direct observation techniques such as looking over someone's shoulder to get information. And shoulder surfing is an effective way to get information in crowded places because it is relatively easy to, you can say that, stand next to someone and watch as they fill out a form and entering a pin number at an ATM machine, or if the person is calling a card at a public phone pay, or shoulder surfing can also be long distance, if I say that, with the aid of other devices like your binocular also. Then in that case the hacker can also see your password. Next is writing your password on papers or storing it on hard disk. So this is clear. Kindly do not write your password on any of the paper and just stick it on your computer table or your office table. This is not at all recommended, right? Because anyone can come and just see your password anytime, right? Next is your brute force attacks. So if I talk about this kind of attack, so a brute force attack is a popular cracking method which can be used in order to do attack on some kind of accounts, right? So a brute force attack involves guessing username and passwords to gain unauthorized access to a system, right? So hackers are actually guessing your username and your password, right? And they will in order to gain some unauthorized access on your computer, right? So next one, if I talk about the dictionary attack, so a dictionary attack is a kind of technique where attackers run through common words and phrases such as those from a dictionary. So they will take or each and every word which is mentioned in the dictionary, right? And they just uh, type that word in in place of password, and if that works, then all of your password will be passed on to the hacker, right? So this is dictionary attack. So, what are the best practices in order to keep your password safe? The first one is use a different password for each service. So, do not use the same password in each and every where, right? Just try to use different passwords for different applications, right? Next is use a long and a complex password. Just do not use the common passwords like 1 2 3 4 5 ABCD, or some person nowadays are also using the password like their name or their spouse name or their children's name, right? Do not use these kind of passwords, right? Next is change your password regularly. Always try to change your passwords in like 2 or 3 months, right? And next is do not use your password on a shared computer, and test your passwords whether it is actually strong or not. There are so many online tools that are available for open source. You can go through that and just check whether the password that you are trying to create is actually strong or not. Next is use passphrase. So if I talk about this thing, that what is passphrase, so here in this screen you can see that what actually is passphrase. So passphrase is, I can say, is a kind of a sentence, right, through which we create our password, right? So here you can say what I have to do is I have to select a sentence like never judge a book by its cover, right? uh, it can be whatever, right? You can select it by your own, and from this sentence we are going to create a new password, right, with the special words also. So here you can see I have created the my passphrase through this sentence. That is, I have taken a small n from this never, right, and I have taken the small j from this judge, and instead of a I have taken at symbol, right? And from book I have taken the six word symbol, and again from by I have taken the six, and from its I have taken the exclamatory sign, and from c I have taken the capital C. So in this way it is really easy. This is also, you can also it is all easy to remember, right? Once you remember the sentence, you can create your own passphrase like this only, and in this way you can create multiple passphrase, and you do not need to learn these kind of passwords, right? It can be easily remembered. So next topic is password safe tool. We also have one password safe tool which is open source, right? And you can go through that tool, that is KeePass password safe, right? So let's see this also. So KeePass is a free open source password manager that help us to manage the password in a secure way. This we have tried and tested, right? So passwords are stored in one database. If I talk about the KeePass tool, which is locked with a master key, right? So database files are encrypted using the best and the most secure encryption algorithms such as your AES 256 and Two-Fish. So here is the link of this KeePass password safe tool. Once you click on this link, let me show you how you can download this tool, right? So once you click on this link, you will basically land on directly on a page like this. Here you will see the latest release, that whatever the latest release of that software you will see in this box, right? You will see here. So the latest release here is this one. Once you click on this, you will some screens are not visible.
No, no, it is not moving. It's not. moved. You can minimize this and open the browser.
All right, I will demonstrate the key tool. Just a minute. Right, so I'm sharing my screen. Participants.
Still not visible. Still not visible. Okay, otherwise continue the session and later, last 15 minutes you can show the demos.
Sure, so let me just try once again. All right, so let me just show you the steps. Then we will, see the demonstration at the end of the training part. All right. So I hope now my screen is visible.
Yeah. Please go ahead, Please go ahead.
All right. So I was discussing that once you click on the above link, you will see a page like this, right? And when you go through, when you click on this tool, that is the software, right? You will see a page like this. Here you can see download KeyPass and the latest version, right? So you have to click on this link, and when you click on this link, it will ask you to save file, right? You have to click on the save file. Once you click on the save file, it will ask you to the I accept the agreement. You have to click on that and just click on the next option, right? And here you can see I don't know why my slides are not changing. Let me just once again.
Your slides are not moving.
I don't know why it's
Kajal.
not moving.
Yeah, now it is fine.
So now it's moving.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Now it is moving. Please go ahead.
All so- all right. So once we download the software, it will show us a symbol like this. So just click on the finish, and once you uh, complete this part, you just have to open that software, the KeyPass software. And once you open that KeyPass software, you will see this application. Right here you can see the file, the group, the entry, the find with, and other of the entries. So let's see how this will work. For saving any kind of password, firstly you have to click on the file that you can see in here in the left corner. And once you click on the file, you will see a entity that is the new. Uh, why slides are not moving? Just a minute.
Is please keep it in a PPT presentation mode, ma, so that you might not be having any issues. You are freezing the screen over there.
Right. All right. Yes. So, yes. So, just a minute, sir. Hmm. Yes. So, here, once we click on the application, you will see a new tab. You have to click on the file and this new tab, right? Once you click here, it will ask you to create a new database, so you have to click on the OK in order to make a new database, right? And once you click on that, you have to make a new folder in order to store that database, right? So you can create that database anywhere in your laptop or anywhere in your computer, right? So after that, you have to choose a strong password, that will be your master key, right, for your all of the password. After you know completing this step here, uh, you have to click on the OK, and then you can choose your database name. You can choose any database name according to yours, right? And now here you can save your files and your password. So in this tool, you can save your files with your passwords. You can also save your passwords and your files also, right? So in this right tab, you have to click on right click, and then you will see a add entry tab. Just click on here and then add details which you want to add, like your username and your password, right? And click on the OK. And in this way, we can save our passwords for different accounts and the file. And in the after once this our session will be over, I'll try to demonstrate for this software tools also. All right. So let's move on to the next topic, that will be our browser security. I hope my screen is visible. So if I talk about the browser security, so we have the let's firstly talk about the privacy settings in the Firefox. So we mostly using two kinds of browsers, that is the Firefox and the Chrome. We almost all the person are using Firefox and Chrome. So firstly, let's discuss what are the privacy settings that we can do in our Firefox browser. So just give me a minute, I will share my browser and show you the settings. Yeah. Is my browser visible?
Yeah, it's visible. It's browser not visible, ma'am, but still we are able to see the PDF.
Browser not visible. All right, sir. All right. I hope now my
Yeah,
browser
now
is
it is
visible.
visible. Now it is visible. Please go
Fine.
ahead.
Okay. Fine, sir. So I have opened my Firefox browser. So in order to apply the privacy steps, we will quickly see how we can apply the privacy steps, right? So here you can see in the right tab the three lines. You have to click on these three lines, and here you can see one option thing, that is here the option. You have to click on that, and once you have clicked on that, here in the left section you can see one privacy and settings tab, right? So just click here. All right. So here, if you scroll down your image or bed, you will see 3 points. That will be your standard, your strict, and your custom, right? So according to us, just try to select the standard one, because if you are choosing the standard one, there it will provide you the following feature, that is your it will stop the social media trackers, it will also stop the cross site tracking cookies, and it will also stop tracking in private window, and it is also giving the option of fingerprinters and the crypto miners, right? So just try to choose the standard option and not the strict and the custom one, right? And if you scroll down a bit, here you can see send website or do not track signal that you do not want to be tracked. So here, with the help of these option, you can also, choose that you do not, that whatever the website that you are visiting on daily basis, they will not, track you, or they will not track your activity, or in this way, they will not, stole your data also, right? And if you scroll a bit, here you can see the cookies and the site data, right? So basically, what are the cookies? Basically, cookies are the kind of, we can say, the information that basically stores in the form of cookie. uh, Basically, that is the information that is coming from all of the activity that you are doing online, right? So I recommend you, all of the respected participants, to kindly clear your cookies on daily basis. So whenever you are done with your surfing thing, right, on your desktop, on your laptops, just go through these settings page and just clear your, click on the clear, right, and clear now. In this way, just delete your cookie. Or there is one more option. If I uncheck this option, it is saying that delete cookies and site data when Firefox is closed. So ultimately, whenever you are done with your internet thing, or whenever you are done with your work, right, and when you just close your Firefox browser, if you click on here, if you check this box, it will delete your cookies, right, on daily basis, right? If I scroll down a bit, here you can see login and password. So just try to read these entities also. Ask to save logins and password for websites, right? And autofill logins and passwords. Suggest to generate strong password. So according to your convenience, right? You can just read all of the tabs and all of the, whatever the entities are given, and just check or uncheck according to your usage and convenience, right? So and more like this, you can go through that. Here you can see the permissions, and for the location, the camera, the microphone, you can just go into the settings and just select according to your own, right? So in this way, we can just uh, check for the security option in the Firefox browser. So if I talk about the Chrome browser, let me just open my Chrome browser, and let me just share my Chrome browser again. Okay, so I hope this screen is visible. This is my Chrome browser, and if I talk about the security settings of Chrome browser, all you have to do is, here in the left right side, you can see the three dots, right? So once you click on these three dots, here you can see the settings page, right? Click on the settings page, and here in the left side, similar to the Firefox, you can see the privacy and the settings page. And here you can see clear browsing data, and please, also it is recommended to just clear your history or clear your browsing data on daily basis. So just make an habit of clearing all your cookies and clearing your browsing data on daily basis. This will make your computer less vulnerable to the hacking, right? And here you can see other options also, for the security. So accordingly, uh, enhanced we have the following option, that is the enhanced protection, the standard protection, and the no protection. So according to your users and your convenience, you can just select one of these options, right? And if I scroll down here, you can see the manage security keys and all of the other options. So go through these security settings and just read all the things what the security settings is saying us, right? And just check and use the security according to your uses. One thing more I would like to add, that how to use the private browser in both of the browsers, right? So if I talk about the Google Chrome, once you click on the three dots, here you can see new incognito window, right? So click on this, and through this you can just enter in a private browser. And if you are using any kind of private browser, your browsing history will not your history will not be stored, right? So here you can, through this step, you can enter into a private browser, right? Let me show you the private browser also for the um, Firefox one. All right. So if you are seeing here, 3 lines. Just click on here. And here, the fourth one, 1, 2, and 3, and fourth, new private window. If you click on this new private window, here you can enter in your private browser, right? So in this way, you all can use the private browsers in both of the browsers, right? So let's just come back to our PPTs. Let me share again. All right. These all the things that we had discussed. All right. Next, we have the browser extensions. Apart from the privacy settings in both of the browsers, it is also recommended to use some kind of extensions also, right? So if I talk about the extensions, basically, these are the extensions that we can use in order to protect our browsers and our data. First one is your HTTPS everywhere. So what HTTPS everywhere will do, it will actually ensure that whatever the site that you are visiting, whether it has HTTP or HTTPS, it will automatically, secure your website. If that website is actually not secure and not having that HTTPS thing, right? I hope you all are aware the difference between the HTTP and the HTTPS, right? So it will automatically provide us the protection, and it will automatically convert the HTTP website into S, right? And the next one is your Shodan. So Shodan plugin tells you whether the website is where actually the particular website is hosted, in which country, on in which city, and what is the IP address of that website, right? And other services, right? We will just I will also show you the demonstrate of these browser extensions also, right? And next we have the AdBlocks Plus extension. So basically, we mostly see a lot of unwanted advertisements whenever we are using the browsers, right? So the main work of AdBlock Plus is to, block all of the unwanted advertisements that we see on our browser or on our website. Next, we have the Netcraft. So it allow easy lookup of information relating to the sites you visit and provide protection from phishing and malware, right? So let's quickly let me show you that demonstration of all of the browser extension. Let me open my Chrome browser. All right, I hope my screen is visible. So first one is the HTTPS everywhere. You just need to write down the HTTPS everywhere extension, right? And when you just write this thing, here you can see the link which is related to HTTPS everywhere Chrome web store, right? When you click on this link, you will land on a page like this. Here it will ask you to add to Chrome. So once you click on this add to Chrome, it will ask you to add extension. Just click on the add extension. All right. And when you click on the add extension, you are good to go. And the next time you visit any of the website which is actually not secure or not having any HTTPS thing, it will automatically, make that website secure, right? So it is saying that HTTPS everywhere has been added to the Chrome. So whenever you visit any website, unsecure website next time, it will automatically secure that website. Next, we have the Shodan extension. So let's also talk about this in a similar way. You can also, um add this extension into your browser. So this is the, symbol of the Shodan extension browser. And here I have already, let me open one website for the testing purpose. Let me show you. Let's suppose I'm visiting this website, right? And I want to, check whether this website is actually secure or not, right? So what I will do, I will just click on here you can see the Shodan extension, this one. So we have to click on this Shodan extension, and once I click on this Shodan extension, here you can see the IP address of this website. The website name is www.woodenstreet.com. This particular website is just for the testing purpose, right? I have taken this for the testing purpose, right? And the country in which this particular website is hosted is United States, right? And here you can see these are the open ports that are present in that website, right? If I click on the view host details, you will see a lot of more information related to this particular website. So these are the open ports right now currently that are present in this particular website, right? And here you can see the explanation of all of the ports. Here the 8880, that is for TCP, and 443 2052. Here you can just go through these explanation, right? And yeah, so in this way, we can just check the information for a particular website. Next, if I talk about the next extension that we have is Netcraft extension, right? In a similar way, we also can download this kind of extension. And let's also check for the Netcraft extension. Just click on the Netcraft extension. I have already, added into my browser. And once I click on this, here you can see I think, yeah. Here you can see the website URL it has given. And once you click on the site report, you will see more information. I think this website is actually not working for this. Let me just do it again quickly. Okay, let's check another website. Let me check for any Google. All right. If I just open this and click here, Netcraft extension, here you can see information like this. It is showing us the URL, the country in which the website is actually hosted, the rank, first seen, and also saying that the URL of the website is actually secure. If it is showing us the tick mark, that means the website that we are actually visiting is actually secure. There is no need to worry. And if you want to, check more information about that particular website, just go to this site report link and click here. Once you click here, you will see a lot of more information related to this particular website, right? So it is actually showing us the background information, the network information. Here you can see a lot of information, right? The just a minute. Yeah, yeah. This is the information. The net blocker owner, right? Hosting country, name server information, domain registry, and your other relevant information. The IP address it is also giving us, right? And location, right? In form of a map. If I scroll down here, right? So in this way, you all can check any information related to a particular website with the help of these kind of extensions. So the main aim of showing you these kind of extension is basically we all receive a lot of links related to particular websites, just go through this websites or register on this website. So while registering on that website, just go through these kind of extension and check whether that website is actually secure or not, right? You will get to know once you go on that particular website through these extension, that whether the website is actually secure or not. Next extension we have the ad blocks plus, right? So once you click on this add to Chrome, and the next time you will visit any of the website, you will not see the malicious unwanted advertisements, right? So the main aim of AdBlock Plus is to block all of the unwanted malicious advertisements, right? So let's go back to our PPT. All right. All right. I hope my screen is visible. So let's move to the another topic, that is email security. right? So if I talk about the email security, we have different possible ways of email threats, right? So right now hackers are using various techniques in order to make fool of people through these kind of techniques. So if I talk about the techniques one by one, the first one is your malicious attachment. So what are malicious attachments? So malicious email attachments are designed to launch an attack on a user computer, right? So the attachment within these malicious emails can be disguised as documents or PDFs, electronic files, or voicemails also, right? And the layman person will not be able to detect whether that attachments are malicious or not good, right? So attackers attach these files to email that can install malware capable of destroying your data, stole your data, or we can say modify your data and steal your personal information, right? Next, if I talk about the double extensions, so these are the kind of extensions that are trending nowadays, because we mostly are aware that mostly we have some kind of extensions that are that contains virus, right? So like we have .vbs, .exe, right? These kind of these kind of extensions contain virus, so we mostly are aware of these things. So now hackers are also aware of this thing, that mostly people will not become fool again with these kind of extensions. So what they are doing, they are just making fool of people with the help of double extensions. So in the case of double extension, what they are doing, they just attaching one extension, any kind of file, PDF, with the name. Just listen it carefully, with the name that will be your document dot text, which is fine, right? And after text, they are adding dot VBS. And we, if we not look it carefully, then we just click on that file and we just welcome virus or any kind of malicious program in our system, right? So double extensions are having basically double extensions in and basically they are containing viruses and malicious content. Next, we have the fake emails. So we all know fake email is basically the intention of fake email is to either a personal gain or to damage any individual by means of that sending email, right? So almost as soon as email become widely used, is mostly hackers are also sending fake email to layman persons, right? So sometimes we also receive emails from Facebook and from other social media application that recently your password has changed, kindly confirm through this link, right? So once we click on this link and we just you know uh, we just open up, once we click on that link, and in next browser a Facebook page will open, which is actually similar to the Facebook application, right? And once we just fill our username and the password, right, our username and the password will be sent on to that hacker, right? And we thought that this is the actual email which we received from Facebook or any kind of social media application, right? Always before sending these kind of data or clicking on any kind of links, just make sure that you are reading that thing twice, right? Next, we have the hoax. So what are basically hoax? So hoax email message distribute false information, right? So hackers are actually sending you any kind of false information, right, which is not at all true, in order to make fool of people. Next, we have phishing attack. So, phishing is a type of social engineering attack often used to steal user data, we all know. And after they steal our login credentials, such as your card and your credit card information, your debit card numbers, and basically, in this, attackers basically behave as a trusted entity, and he basically dupes a victim into opening an email and opening an instant message or any kind of text message also, and the user is then tricked into clicking that malicious link, which can lead the installation of malware and also freeze the system, right? Sometimes we also uh, see that we also have we all are aware of in our life that sometimes we click on some link and just when we click on that link, our system is, sometimes just freeze for 5 to 10 minutes, right? So this can also be a scam of phishing email, right? So before clicking on any of the link that you receive on daily basis, just check the link, right? How you can check those links, whether that links are, genuine or not. We have some, online tools that we will discuss later, right? I will also discuss that through going that online tools, you can just check whether the particular URL is actually secure or not. All right. So one of the tool that we are going to discuss for the security of the email here is the email tracer. So email tracer is a tool which is made by CDAC, right? So email tracer is a tool to track email sender identity, and it analyzes the email headers and give the complete information about the sender, right? Like your IP addresses and your mail server addresses and the details of service provider. So email tracers traces up to internet service provider level only, right? So let's discuss how to access email tracer, how you can use email tracer, right?
Fazal, sorry to disturb you, ma. Like, can you please close the session by another max by another 8 to 10 minutes?
Sure, sir, sure.
Okay. Participants, like, sir, madam, like, we have a few announcements. Please kindly stay back. Okay. And still, many of the people have not registered their attendance. I request all sirs and madams, please register your attendance. Once again, I am sharing the link in the chat area, in the chat box. In the bottom of the participants, like in the bottom, there are two options in the right, extreme right, participants and chat. In the chat box, once again I'm keeping the link, okay, for registering your attendance. So kindly register your attendance in that particular location. Then only, like, we are already started getting number of requests also. So please register your attendance in that chat box area. I'm sharing the link. You please register your attendance. Kajal, please go ahead, ma.
All right, sir. So let's quickly see the steps in order to use the email tracer, right? So firstly, just go to your Gmail, right? And just write the email tracer CDAC, right? Once you write that, you will find a link, right? So just click on that link, right? After clicking on that link, just open your Gmail browser, and whatever the email you want to track, just open that email, right? Here in my case, in this screenshot, you can see, just click on the email that you want to track or that you want to gather information about, right? And once you click on that email, uh, there you will find three dots in the right side, and once you click on the three dots, you will see options like this, like filter message, print, delete this message. You have to click on the show original, right? Once you click on the show original, right, you will find a tab like copy to clipboard, right? So just copy to clipboard, click on here, and once you click on here, you have to go to the email tracer page which you have opened in your web browser, right? This is the main page of online email tracer. Now just come here and just right click here, and there you will be having the option of paste, and just click the paste. And once you click on the paste, uh, y- you will see a thing like this, right? And just click on the trace email sender, just click here. And once you click here, you will easily get to know the details of that particular IP address, right? It will give you the information like your IP addresses and your server, the server mail server information, the mobile number, and all of the sender information, right? So in this way you can use the email tracer also. Next, we also have some open source tools for securing ourselves from cyber and the malicious attacks. So, while discussing the email security, I had, discussed that we will also discuss some tools through which you will get to know that whether that particular link or the whether that particular website is actually secure or not, right? So, first tool that we will discuss is your Google Safe browsing, right? So what is Google safe browsing? Google safe browsing basically examine the URLs, right? If you are having any, website URL and you want to fill information in that website, so before filling information or before accessing that website, just check whether that website is actually secure or not, right? So this is the work of Google safe browsing. It will tell you whether that particular website is actually safe or not, or whether that particular URL that you are going to visit is actually safe or not, right? So it discover thousands of new unsafe sites, many of which are legitimate websites that have been compromised, right? So this is the link for that particular Google safe browsing. If you click on this, here you can see a page like this. This is the page of Google safe browsing. Here you can see site check status. In the site check status, you have to add that URL which you are going to check for, right? And here in my case, I have checked for www.cdac.in. So here you can see in the result that no unsafe content found. So if a website is having any kind of unsafe content or any kind of vulnerability thing, then it will tell you that the website is not at all secure, right? So in this way you will get to know that this is the website is the particular website is actually not secure, and you will not use it in the future, right? So here in my case it is showing me that this particular website is actually not secure. Next, I have also checked for one another website that is actually in the form of IP address and is actually not that much secure, right? So here you can see the website URL, that is http double colon double slash 192.168.58 and 132, right? So here you can see no, it is showing me that no available data. That means something is fishy, and I should not access this kind of website, right? So in this way we can easily detect whether that website is actually genuine or secure or not. So in this way we can, save ourselves and our data also, right? Next tool, if I talk about, that is have I been pwned, right? So basically have I been pwned is a kind of tool that basically tells you whether your email address have been compromised or somewhere in your life or not, right? So if your email address is compromised somewhere in your life, then it will tell you that your website is compromised in these particular websites. Let's see how you can check. So this is the particular link for have I been pwned. And once you click on this link, you will land on a page like this, have I been pwned. Basically, you can check your email address. So you all can check your personal email addresses also, whether your email has been compromised or not, right? Just put your email address here in the search bar. And here I have put one email addresses, and it is showing 3 breaches found, right? So in this way you all can check whether your email address has also been compromised somewhere or not, right? And if I talk about the next tool, that is your URL expander. So what is the work of URL expanders is it basically tells us that what is actually the actual URL. So sometimes what happens, hackers are actually trying to manipulate the URL and then send us that URL, right? So this basically will exactly tell us that this is the exact URL, right? And this is the fake URL, right? So once you click on this particular link, you will see a page like this, check short URL, right? So if you receive any kind of URL in your mails also, you just write that URL, just paste that URL here and click on the expand thing, right? Once you click on the expand thing here, as you can see, I have written the URL, that is https bit.ly and this something, right? So once I click on this expand, it will analyze the results, and in the result part, see, it is telling me what, just look carefully, what is the link that I have received, what is the URL that I have received. This is the URL that I have received, but when I just checked it with this short check short URL, it is showing me that the long URL, that means the main URL is http://coda.cc, which is actually a vulnerable website, right? So this is actually the original URL which actually hacker has manipulated through various tools, right? And this is also giving us that this is the actual short URL that I have received in my email, right? So in this way we can detect what is the actual URL and what is the shortened URL, we can say that, right? So in this way we can use these online tools and check whether that URL is actually secure or not, right? So let's also see the tips for email security. So do not respond to emails received from strangers. So I request you all, do not click on any of the links which you received from strangers, right? And do not click on any of the attachments. Do not click on any of the unwanted links, and check the URL before proceeding further. How you will check? You will check through these tools, right? And always follow email security and password policies, and also try to update your password in 2 or 3 months, right? And so never reply and disclose any personal information, because this might be phishing. Never disclose any of your personal information on email, right? So the mantra of online safety is pause and think before you connect, and pause and think before you post anything, anywhere, and with anyone. Right. So secure yourself, and so that you can secure the nation. Right. So this was it for the session. Thank you all. If you have any question, then you please can ask me.
Thank you, Kazal, for your wonderful and enlightening session. And it
Thank
was,
you, sir.
of course, like we are running out of time, but the session was covered nicely. So thank you once again.
Thank you,
And
sir.
I request to the officers, if you have any questions, kindly keep it in the. Okay, can I have this PPT? Yes, sir. We will try to share. We will take it from them, and we will try to share all the PPTs with you all. And these sessions are also recorded and made available in the YouTube, and we will share that link also. Yeah, any other questions which are related to the session? Like with, please share the PPT. Yes, sir, we will share the PPT. Don't worry. In case my password is pwned, what are the steps should I take? Yes, Kazal. I think.
Sir, yes, sir, I request you, if your password is Pune, just change your password, right? With some secure, and with some secure kind of password. You can use a passphrase also, right? And now you can, create your own passphrase also. So just change your password as soon as possible.
Okay. And how safe is to allow apps to ask for us all sorts of accesses like contacts, camera, location, and all such kind of things.
Sir, basically, when these kind of permissions are asking, just try to read that what it is actually asking. And if you are not comfortable with that, then please do not install these kind of applications. But please try to read all of the permission access that they are asking you.
Yeah, Aditi sir, once again, like if your password is phone, like you have to change your password immediately, as I just told by Kazal. And one more question is safe using the DNS like Google or opens.
Sorry, sir. Repeat the
Yeah, yeah,
question.
yeah, 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 yeah. Is it safe to using? Is it to safe using public DNS like Google or Open DNS?
Sir, you can use, but do not try to, uh, provide any kind of personal information.
Okay. If KeePass database file is deleted, how to recover it?
KeePy's database is deleted. Sir,
Yeah.
I think that will also store in your database of your system, because we are actually storing it in the database of your system.
Okay.
From
And
there, you
how to
can
block any extensions in emails,
how to block any extensions in.
in emails? I
Sir,
think the
this
question is
question
not.
is not clear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think maybe like he may be asking like how to block the pop-ups when you are accessing through browser.
Sir, you can use the ad block plus. It will automatically block all the malicious advertisements.
I think they were asking once again about the email tracer. Email tracer.
Email tracer. Sir, the steps.
Yeah.
Okay. So shall I show that again?
Yeah, I think you can just go ahead or like open the CDAC website and show it now once if possible.
All right, all right, all right. Just give me a minute.
How to use, how safe it is to use free Wi-Fi offered by the Delhi Metro and all. You can use the Wi-Fi, sir, but don't do any financial transactions. So that is a sincere request to all of you. You can use your mobile or laptop or whatever for browsing, but don't do any financial transactions. And once again, I request all the officers, as of now, only 320 officers are registered. And if you have any issue, kindly let me know. Once again, I am keeping, the attendance registration link in the chat box. Okay, chart box, you can find it in the bottom of the window, right side, once again. Okay, so please register your attendance. Is it okay to use VPN? Yes, VPN is always best, sir. You can always use the VPN to do any of the transactions. But please ensure that that VPN is provided by your organization, not by any third party. If it is any third party, it should be thoroughly checked by your audit team, and if they allow, you can use the VPN. Kajal, I think they were talking about email tracer. Email tracer.
Yes, sir. I'm just showing them. Let me just copy the header of the email. All right. All right, sir and madam. So basically, all you have to do is just go to the Google and just type the email tracer CDAC. All right, just click here. Once you click here, the first link you are seeing, just click on here. I have already opened it. So here you can see this is the page of the online email tracer, right? So here it is asking us to paste the email header here. So our next step is just open your Google Gmail account. I have already opened it. Let me just share it. Right. So you can choose any message, any mail, right? Which you want to, which you want to detect the information for, right? So you have to just open any mail, right? And here, once you click on the mail, you can see the three dots here, right? Just click here. Once you click here, you will see a tab that is show original. Just click here. And here you have to click on the copy to clipboard. It will automatically copy the header of the email, right? And then you have to just go through that email tracer page and just right click here and just click on the paste thing. Here you can see my header is already pasted. And once my header is pasted, just click on the start tracing. It will hardly take a minute. See? Um so the mail appears to be originated from the IP address is this, right? And it has given the information and it has given from where the email address have come from, right? From this email address, I have received the particular mail, and lastly, I have received the email address on this particular email, right? So here, through this information, you can just check whether that particular email address is actually uh, you know safe or not, right? Is this clear? All right, so is this clear? Or
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. That's fine. And just to clarify, Sumit Couch sir, like it was not from the set hyphen in. It is a set hyphen in .org. You are receiving such kind of mails from set hyphen in .org. Like we have also observed. So please ensure that It is not setting. It is set-in.org. You are receiving from the .org mail IDs. So please be careful. Okay. How safe using the mobile for financial transactions? Kazal, question for you.
Sir, I just advise you all that please, whenever you are doing any kind of financial transaction, just do it on the private browser. I hope you all are aware how to, open the private browser. We have already discussed this thing. So it is totally safe when you are doing any kind of transaction over the private browser. So yes,
That's good. And how about a good antivirus like Norton?
yeah, Norton will be fine, sir.
Okay. Can the service provider of free Wi-Fi be held liable for any sort of malicious activity that happens on a user's phone?
Free Wi-Fi.
See, the question is, can the service provider is liable, for when we are accessing free or public Wi-Fi, and whether the service provider is liable or not if something happens wrong.
No.
Yeah, the service, absolutely. Thank you, ma. And service provider is not liable, sir, because that Wi-Fi is done and it was hacked by some XYZ person, and the XYZ person is accessing your details. Okay. So, ISP is not liable in this regard. Not able to found the URL for attendance registration. All right. So thank you, Kazal and Neha madam, for your wonderful session and answering all the questions. So thank you once again on behalf of all the participants. Okay, for your wonderful session. So my request is like all the officers, like this session, I'm not going to close it now. It remains open for all the participants. But only thing is that the session is going to start exactly by 2:30, and I request, like, if any of the people are wanted to log out and join, you can log out and join also using the same link. Okay, but request everyone to please join by 2:15. But the session is going to be closed by session is going to start by 2:30. Okay, so that is one announcement. And still, I think some of the officers are not able to register their attendance. So, sir, wherever you are charting, in the same box, I'm keeping it once again, sir. So for all the officers, I'm keeping it once again. The infosec awareness.in generic cyber hygiene registration. Okay. So once again, I marked it here. Whoever are not registered as are now, only register. It is not necessary that again and again it is required, because many of the people are asking again and again. I'm giving. So please, once you are marked your attendance once, that is sufficient for us to track. Okay. So once again, I'm sharing that link in the chat area. So please see that a link in the chat area, https /infosecawareness.in and GenScyb registration. So that is the link. So please go there and please mark your attendance. Okay. So with that, like, we will close the session. We will meet again by 2:15, and the session is going to start exactly by 2:30. How to need mark attendance in the afternoon session also? Yes, sir, it is required. Okay. How to make a query? Please, microphone is not working. Sir, please check yourself, sir. Like, if it is not, your microphone is not working, like, we cannot do anything. So please get either your headphones or earphones and try to use it. Okay. Is attendance different from the registration? Yes. Registration is already there, sir. But again, like, against registration, whether you attended the session whether you attended the session or not. So that kind of confirmation your department / ministry is asking. That is the reason, like, we were requesting your attendance for the session. Like, as of now, 640 people have attended the session. Only 320 are marked their attendance. Remaining 320 are not marked their attendance. So hence, if the department or ministry asks, we may not be able to provide your attendance. Okay, that is only the reason, like, we were keep on and again asking everyone, please to mark your attendance. Okay. So with that, like, we will conclude this session, and once again we will meet exactly by 2:15, and the session is going to start 2:30. That session, like, whatever we were talking, as of now, you are seeing, like, this phishing and all that things. In the afternoon session, you will be seeing, like, how real-time phishing will happen, how you lose your user personal identity information, like PII, like personal identity information like your username, password, mobile number, and all such kind of things. So that is going to be shown in the real in the demo in the form of demo in the afternoon session. And the second session is going to be on the financial transactions and social networking. So these are the two sessions are lined up for the afternoon sessions. So please stay back or rejoin yourself by 2:15 and the session exactly start by 2:30. Thank you very much for all the officers for patiently listening. And I request all the officers, please mark any of your queries in the chat box so that we will be able to trace it out. And please don't mind if any of the questions are not answered. So you can always keep in touch in our Telegram group, so that if there are any if there are any questions, we will try to attend all your questions in the Telegram group also. Okay. Thank you so much. My superior got a WhatsApp message. Okay, that we are going to discuss in the afternoon, sir. All right. So thank you all the officers, and thank you Kajal and Neha madam for your support in organizing this wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you so
We
much,
will
sir.
catch you up by 2:15 and the session starts at 2:30. Once again to all the participants. Thank you so much.